powder cocaine is this: sodium bicarbonate, water, heat. That's it. Combustion, ritual. I mean, I can still feel my hands doing it, just it through smoking. It affects your physiology much faster than it would be if you just use powder cocaine through your nose or in any other form. It also allows you to ingest more faster than you could possibly ever ingest by sniffing cocaine up your nose. It just becomes the most ungodly addiction that you can possibly imagine, to the point where I was smoking crack. I mean, literally, I was either looking for or smoking or recovering. Not even recovering. You don't recover. You just go find more for close to a 2-year period of time.
Wow.
And I got made fun of about it. And, people think that, when I wrote my book, like, clawing through the carpet to find crack cocaine and, Parmesan cheese. And, I know it's a real laugh line, but anybody that's ever been an addict like that, they don't laugh about it. It's devastating.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Table of Titans. It is Thursday again, and it's more of a side Table of Titans. We don't have Tron or Rdoc, so it's just me and Space Shot tonight. But you remember back in the day when Biden called him the smartest man he knows? Yeah, telling us all about the PhD about crack cocaine, like it's Breaking Bad out there. Speaking of that, we got a whole bunch of stuff happening in Congress because they all decided to go on vacation for a month, because why not? We're not going to get anything done anyways. We got some court decisions. We got new information dropping itself. We got lots to cover tonight. So welcome into Side Table of Titans with me and Space Shot. Sir, how are you doing today?
Can I come over from the little kid table and join the big table? I love it.
Make sure you don't spill your milk on the table.
No crying over spilled milk. But, thank you guys. First off, how's it going out there, my fellow world patriots? And welcome on into all of y'all. And, of course, we'll miss Tron and Mr. Rdoc this evening. But as in show business, what is that old saying? The show must go on. And there is plenty of stuff to discuss out there. Lots of craziness. And I think I just got what's the saying? I went into prison with bachelor's in marijuana. I just came out of prison with a PhD in cocaine. That's,
okay, George.
Okay, George. George, what do you know about cocaine? A little movie quotes there for any of you guys remember Johnny Depp, I think, in Blow there. But yeah, dude. And people were making fun of him, dude. Can you believe that? They were making fun of him for doing that, and it's clean. It's purer. It's really good for your body. And was he really trying to go down that road? Like, it's cleaner. It's more pure. It's like, it's good for you. Nah. Sorry, buddy. I don't think so. Not my flavor. Not my sizzle, if you catch my drift. But thank you to the mods out there who are always helping ourselves and many others out there. We do greatly appreciate your help. And always a big hat tip to Country and the folks over there at Liberty Based News. Very based. Liberty Based.
Yeah, exactly.
News. But what's up, brother? What do we got today? I mean, is that it? That's the show?
We got lots of serious stuff to talk about. I mean, the first thing I led off with, obviously, Mr. Hunter is back on Twitter, or has been on Twitter. He just made his first post a couple of days ago. We'll get to that a little bit later. And he's doing interviews on Candace Owens versus the Channel 5 group over there. So he's making it outside his little box. And he said some interesting things that we're going to get to a little bit later, all about assassination attempts and the Hunter Biden laptop. All that is the things he's talking about there. So we're going to take a look at that. But he'd mentioned the book deals. And then, because I was kind of running by this thing right here, and it says, American politics, the book deals are payoffs. Comey got a book deal. Andrew McCabe got a book deal. Peter Strzok's got a book deal. Vindman both got a book deal. Bill Barr got a book deal. Nikki Haley got a book deal. And Mike Pence just got a book deal. Look at that. New books are out, dude. Good job. Here's your payback over there. Here you go.
Woo, woo, woo. Dude, how would this guy know? And the book's titled, Mike Pence, What Conservatives Believe. And what does that say? Rediscovering the conservative something. I can't see what that is. Conscience? Like, what the hell would this guy know about freaking... He should write a book about what deep state swamp rat members believe and how we do what we do. But, oh my goodness, dude. It's par for the course, though. Book deals.
Yeah, everybody's going to get a book deal as they normally launder the money into certain sections. We always seen those stories where they find the warehouse of books that have been bought and just stored. And where are these all sitting here? Yeah. Oh, they launder money out there. So that was interesting just to hear from Mr. Biden there in the beginning as we start talking about some of the things that we're getting into. Because, I mean, again, we're down to deep state deals and we got some interesting things to get into over here. The first thing I do want to show you is a quick little deal over here because the Senate went all on vacation early. Just a little teaser right here for everybody to listen to, Tim Burchett.
Mr. Chairman, could I say something at this point, or do I need to wait?
Yeah, you can go ahead. I'll yield to you.
Okay. I realize what's going on here, and I realize that, when you're not sitting at the table, that you're not heard, and I realize the deal has already been cut. But I want to warn our party. We're in the majority, and we're not acting like it. And we'll be in the minority once again because of this kind of activity. And I'm disgusted that both sides of the aisle, that we're not allowed to, deals have been cut. And I think that's wrong. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, he's not at that party table to be able to make those decisions because he doesn't want to play the game of deep state deals out there. So, yeah, we'll get to that, what Thune and the rest of the guys are deciding to do.
Yeah, I like him. And, he's kind of like it seems like he put something out and then shortly thereafter we start getting some information. But I do like the fact that he does speak out, right? Because he kind of talked just like us. Like he's filling up his truck and he's like, I just spent $100. I don't figure out if I'm going to fill up my truck with gas or get my kid to college, like that type of stuff. So, yeah, we need more people like him, but we need to expose all of these backyard deals. And again, remember, it's basically a uniparty, right? Oh, no, Republican versus, conservative versus Democrats. Not really. Really?
Yeah, because did you hear that he actually makes his own skateboards and that people wanted to purchase it from him? So he went down to the parliamentarian and started talking with those guys about doing the paperwork and stuff like that. And they basically told him that he can't make his own skateboards and then sell them on a website to people that want to buy them because he's going to make some custom ones is the way he was going to do it, make it real artsy and stuff like that. And they said, no, you can't do it. He said, you're telling me I could do insider trading, but I can't build my own skateboards and then sell them to the regular people. And the parliamentarian said, yeah, you're right.
Wow. That's disgusting. So, I mean, what does that mean? Like no congressmen or women are allowed to sell anything? Maybe they're not allowed to have any shops or whatever. Because
you're going to making money off of, your political office and those sort of things. But yeah, insider trading, I guess, doesn't count just yet due to Nancy Pelosi and the rest of those groups.
Well, dude, I guess unless he was ready to vote on the friggin' Tony Hawk Act, I don't see how, skateboards is going to be coming up too big in Congress. But, maybe video games and license deals. But, yeah, it's just ridiculous.
Here, take a crack at that for everybody.
Don't take my kindness for weakness. Oh, okay, sorry. Dan Scavino. Do not mistake my sincere kindness and willingness to do solid for POTUS, while always being an open and honest broker with everyone on everything as a sign of weakness. I've been doing this for 30 plus years with him. I assure you, he knows who has his back 24/7, 365, FAFO. Boom.
So yeah, I thought that was an interesting comment coming from him, who's basically picking everybody that's coming in and out of the White House administration out there. Also interesting little tidbit coming from the pilot of plus 30 years for Donald Trump. Guess how many times he actually saw Donald Trump sleeping on his plane in the over plus 30 years that he's worked with Donald Trump, his personal pilot. What do you think, Space Shot? How many times?
347. I'm debating between 1 and 0. So I'll go with 0.
0. That's exactly right. He says he gets his stuff out and starts going to work because he starts making deals and calling people versus the rest of the crew that likes to take naps and go to sleep. So just thought that was interesting coming out from his own pilot saying, I've never seen him sleep on the plane ever.
Like that FAFO. Boom. FAFO.
Yeah. And since we're talking about that, I always thought this was an interesting topic since Trump was doing the, the hell do they call that? The Coast Guard commencements and all that.
Yeah, definitely. Quote, "You fly into gale force winds, smash into 50-foot waves, storm into floods and fire and shrapnel, and swim through water so cold that it would snap a ship in half. There's nothing, absolutely nothing that a Coast Guardsman cannot do." Or at POTUS. Boom.
Hashtag White Squall.
Heck yeah, that's a little hat tip to our brother Matthew, TNFM, founding member of the Table of Titans there, Coast Guard, former Coast Guard. And dude, he got into some stuff, dude, back then. It was actually pretty funny, dude, when he was and I think this is okay to talk about, but he was telling me how he went into like his polygraph test when he was going to border and enforcements, and they were talking to him about like, have you ever been around like large amounts of drugs and stuff? And he was like, yeah, we used to. Essentially, basically, they had a lot of people, a lot of drug interdictions that they got in a lot of drugs about, but I don't know, it was just weird, like the way they were questioning him on it, and the thing was going off. He's like, yeah, dude, we used to do a lot of it, and they were like, that's interesting.
That is interesting. What else do we got for you? Oh yeah, just a little bit of Trump's speech, a little piece I thought was interesting.
With Finland, they make icebreakers. They make the best icebreakers. We're going to learn everything we can learn. We're going to shortly make them ourselves. But we're making right now, currently under construction, we have 11 beautiful. And I said, come on, when's the first one coming? They said, in 28. I said, I'm going to be here in 28. Maybe I'll be here in 32 too. I don't know. Maybe I will. But I'm going to be here in 28. And I'll tell you, I said, that's great because I'm going to be there at the dedication. They have been trying to get icebreakers for years and years. And
so I just thought that was interesting that he's still playing those particular cards and talking points out again as we go out to further into the Trump administration. Is it with a Rubio? Is it with a Vance? Maybe it's a Vance and Rubio together. Who knows? Maybe it's fight for the best who gets to be president.
Yeah, true. And, I think some people sometimes may get the wrong idea when I say this, which is, of course, I love President Trump, right? Greatest president, in my opinion, right? But do we want this guy in here forever, right? Like, and it's not like I don't think he'll do a good job, but like also for one part of it, let's let the guy enjoy, what are going to be the last 10, 15, 20 years of his life instead of being in office the whole time. But then once you start getting into, a few more years on top of this, he might start to, I'm not saying he's going to turn into a vegetable, but you're going to have some decline, and he's not going to be able to keep up this energy level like that. If he could, sure, great. But yeah, I want to see him be able to enjoy some of the last few years and, go golfing, go relax, and enjoy your bounty that you've earned, all those billions.
He's going to make it like the 150.
Dude, we never know. We might, by the time technology catches up, they might have stuff. They're already learning about certain things that are in our was it telomeres or something like that they can start to shorten. I think that it is, but there's all sorts of crazy stuff they're cooking up.
Yeah, reverse aging. Yeah, that's what you're referencing out there.
Or you can go to that billionaire who keeps infusing himself with his younger, much younger son's blood over and over, and try that route as well. Blech.
That's weird. That's weird. Here, Cashy dropped this down. Did you see this?
No. Trump shares his Kalshi odds. Who will win the presidential election? Kalshi. 99%.
Look how close it got to the odds right there just before like November 5th and all that night as it comes to ahead as we were watching them supposedly try to swindle out the election of some of the areas that we were watching. So it's interesting to look back at where we're at now, some of the things we're going to show you and the things about the election that are changing here very shortly to see this, what it was. Because we're seeing a lot of the actions out of the deep state dismantled. Anything from immigration to fraud to money laundering, cartel work. We're going to talk about some of those things. All that stuff, kind of connections and the function of the deep state is being taken apart piece by piece. We might not like all the things that Trump does, and we should never be 100%, follower and think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. He's doing a really kick-ass job, but again, we're all humans, right?
Abso-freaking-lutely. And dude, did you anybody? This is for you or anybody, dude. In the chat there, anything about noon today? About there being some sort of anything that happened at noon, maybe twice today. So just put that out there. Anything happened at noon, or somebody did something twice at noon today. Just just keep that in your mind. But dude, yeah, I'm loving this. And when you take a broader look and see what's going on here, and I got a post, if you don't have one for later, that is again reiterating the possibility, wink wink, that maybe Trump and Xi and Putin are actually working together. So again, we don't really know 100% what's going on, and I don't want to know, because if we knew, then the bad guys know, and that's a no-go. That's a no-go.
It'd take a little bit of time before we get there. But I thought this little meme here was kind of fitting in the things that we're watching out there, as I feel that we're somewhere down here at the bottom, and then you could see both sides as they take off with Tucker and Nick Fuentes and the rest of the group out there, which, I mean, some of these people that give out the information are really don't mind all that much, even though they might be at the extreme end of what the commitments and talking points that they've been doing out there. But I mean, it is what it is. I'm down here at the bottom pointing fingers at both sides as they are trying to control the narrative. And the group that was supporting a lot of the incumbents out there in the recent election lost.
Oh yeah, I think it was 37-0. Who's the guy in the top right next to Fuentes above the MMA fighter? I don't know who that is.
I don't remember his name. Oh, I want to say.
Oh, good.
Quick thank you to Philly Q for the one gifted subscription.
Looks like Greta may have put on her freshman 15, huh? A little chunky face there. Greta
Yeah,
Thunberg.
she went to 15 to 30 really quick, dude. What the hell? She's going to come with a thing of cats and stuff, like a whole starter kit's coming.
These are my cats.
So you got to be careful on both sides here, and don't blindly follow either side of the group over here. So yeah, notice Dan's not over there. That was interesting. Let's get into some interesting talking points. Anything you want to throw out there before I put this out here?
We're good, sir.
Okay, here we go.
Disloyal Kentucky Congressman Thomas Massie losing the GOP primary to Navy SEAL veteran Ed Galrine, who has the president's endorsement. Mark Meredith is live for us in Lexington, Kentucky with more. Mark, good afternoon.
Trace, good afternoon to you. President Trump's endorsements made a big difference in Kentucky last night. Trump spent a lot of time and energy trying to oust Republican Congressman Thomas Massie. Last night, Trump got his way, but Massie says he was glad he went down with the fight, and he says he stood up for what he believes in. As you mentioned, Massie lost to the former Navy SEAL Ed Galrine. Massie claims it was outside money and influence that took his seat. He also told his supporters last night he's glad he challenged Trump on the war in Iran.
I mean, we stirred up something. There is a yearning in this country for somebody who will vote for principles over party.
That's the new wife.
Now, Massey's still going to be in Congress for a few more months until his term is up. But today, Speaker Johnson also made it clear he saw Massey's loss as a lesson for any Republican who wants to get in the way of leadership.
Not surprised by the results there. The president knows what's at stake in this fall's elections, and he and I need conservative patriots here ready to help us continue saving America.
Another Trump-backed candidate had a big night. Congressman Andy Barr easily winning his primary to be the Republican Senate nominee. This is the race to replace Senator Mitch McConnell, who's retiring. Last night in his speech, Barr thanked McConnell, but he also made it clear who he thought shaped this race.
Thank you, Mr. President, for your powerful support. I look forward to fighting alongside you to advance our America First agenda and deliver for Kentucky in the United States Senate.
Barr will now face off against Democrat.
Yeah, that's enough. So yeah, let's see if that's going to come together. It seems like they got a lot of wins there. Do I have the total over here? So we got President Trump's endorsement, May 19th primary. So Pennsylvania's 10-0 win rate. So that's Georgia 9-0, Alabama 6-0, Kentucky 6-0, Ohio 5-0, and Oregon we got 1. So yeah, that's interesting thing. So 37 on the new ones coming in, replacing the old incumbents. So that's going to be interesting things to see how it goes. Now these guys are still kicking it around. They ain't leaving anytime soon, and they got to hang out till at least January. So we know what type of issues they can cause over there in Congress and the Senate itself. being lame ducks and not doing what Trump wants. I mean, they're already doing that now, so it's not going to change all that much. They just do more, I guess.
Yeah, they're going on a little vacation action there. And is that just Congress? Because if they both go, then you can do things.
It's on both sides. I got some breakdowns coming up here in a second as we get into here. But just want to throw out some Spencer Pratt coming out of here at California itself. This is interesting, talking about replaying Mayor Bass.
Spencer Pratt, do you see yourself in him at all? A former reality TV star?
No, I'd like to see him do well. He's a character. I don't know him. I assume he probably supports me. Does he support me?
I think so.
I think so, yeah. I heard he
Oh,
does.
and I like him.
I heard he's a big MAGA person. He's doing well. I don't know. If you have a rigged vote out there, that's the problem. The votes are rigged. You have a really rigged vote in California. You have all the mail-in ballots, everything else. Very hard to win because the elections are very dishonest. If we had Jesus Christ come down and count the votes, I would have won California because I do great with Hispanics.
Wow.
But it's a rigged vote. They send out 38 million votes. Nobody knows where they're going.
Spencer Pratt, do you see yourself?
No, that was funny. You could have one if Jesus was counting.
I like that too. He's like, so does he support me? Yeah, I think so. Oh, yeah. He's a big MAGA guy. Okay, sure he is. I just think it's freaking hilarious because he's waiting to see, like, wait, does he like me? Okay, then I like him. If not, I don't like him.
And he's got some of the best promotional videos, Spencer Pratt, that he's put out there with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, he's done some great stuff. Played some of the AI stuff last week in there, but just wanted to say he's still hanging around, still doing his thing. So stuff is going through. What else do we got here? We got Scott Presler. I didn't know he was running for a member of the Republican Senate committee.
Hey everybody, this is Scott Presler. I'm here in Harrisburg filing an addendum to the original 11 pages that I submitted to run for state committee for the Republican Committee of Beaver County. I've already turned in 300 signatures, only 100 are required, but I want to show people the groundswell of support that we have in Pennsylvania's 17th congressional district, i.e. Beaver County. So today, I'm adding an additional 118 signatures, so total, I'm turning in 418. And I promise you, as I continue to work from Capitol Hill throughout the Commonwealth, I will always put Pennsylvania first, and I will always put Beaver County first. Look forward to earning your vote on May 19th for the Republican primary.
Dude, that's interesting. So he's going to run for local elections, maybe get up into some higher end state stuff. I don't know, maybe go run for Congress or something a little bit later, get a little bit of working below his feet. But since he's getting in over here on the election committee, it's interesting.
Heck yeah. And to quote my son and some of the teenage terminology nowadays, boy, is he zesty. Those boots, man, those are a fashion statement right there. Those freaking boots,
he's getting involved though. But
No,
you
he
know
is.
how much work he's done for Pennsylvania lately, and then being over here but doing this, dude. Hat tip for him.
Oh no, major. As much as I'll tongue in cheek, and I'm kidding, of course, but he has done a lot of work for voting, and not only that, but remember when he took a bunch of people to Maryland? I think it was it Baltimore, somewhere in Maryland, or DC or whatever? They started cleaning up the neighborhoods. And then they were catching crap for people fighting back up against that. So, yeah, he had a whole neighborhood of people cleaning up stuff. So he's definitely been a very good ally for conservatives.
Yep. Keep going, brother. What else do we got? Oh, was that a duplicate? Yeah, that was a duplicate there.
37 wins to nothing.
Oh, yeah. Here, read that for everybody. That was the breakdown of what we got right there.
Let's not talk about mail-in ballots. Rep. Thomas Massey was the most prominent incumbent who lost his seat in the May 19th, 2026 GOP. He was defeated in Kentucky's 4th congressional district primary by Trump-endorsed Navy SEAL and farmer Ed Galrain, roughly 55-45%. This was one of the most expensive House preliminaries in history, with heavy spending from Trump allies and pro-Israel groups targeting Massey's criticism of Trump on issues like foreign aid spending bills, pushing for Epstein files release. Other notable losses, non-advancements, May 19th or related. Georgia, Republican Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, a Trump critic, did not advance to the runoff in a gubernatorial primary. Several other races, especially in Alabama, advanced candidates to runoff rather than delivering outright wins, meaning some incumbents or challenges fell short of 50% but aren't fully, quote, out yet. Earlier context, not May 19th, Senator Bill Cassidy, Republican, Louisiana, lost his primary recently after Trump opposition over his 2021 impeachment vote. Trump's endorsed slate went 37-0 across the 6 states, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Alabama, Kentucky, Idaho, and Oregon, mostly in down-ballot or open races, with Massey's ouster as the headline, Revenge, win against a sitting member. No other sitting House or Senate members appear to have lost seats outright on that specific day beyond Massey. This reflects Trump's strong influence in GOP primaries, but some analysts note potential risks for broader midterm electability if it alienates moderates or independents. Kaboom.
That was Grok. I just want to throw that out there. What did he have to say here?
I would have come out sooner, but I had to call
He's
my
gay?
opponent and concede, and it took a while to find Ed Galrine in Tel Aviv.
Oh, he made it.
I did get the call through, though. I have called and conceded the race. We've been honorable the whole time. We're going to stay that way.
So it's Massey. He's out, and the new wife.
The new
Whatever
wife.
she's going to go to.
Now wait. Was she number 3? Was she number 3?
I don't know.
After
I
the
don't know
wife
which
passed
number it
away?
is.
And, because allegedly the staffer that went on one of our unfavoritist Larry Loomer there the other day claims that
Larry Loomer?
Isn't that his name?
She's got an Adam apple.
Lori, Lawrence. I don't know too many guy names with L. Lawrence, Larry. No, that's all I got. But yeah, so she said, and again, she's a staffer, maybe a woman scorned, making up stuff. I don't know. Again, so just take it for what it is. But she said that she was at least number 2 after the wife had passed away, and that was 2 months after his high school sweetheart of 30 years just died of a long, drawn-out autoimmune disease. So this dude, within a year, married this chick, already had hit 2 other chicks within 2 months of her passing. So I don't know. It doesn't tell me much about, him as a person right there. That part alone.
Leonard? Would Leonard work?
Leonard Loomer, yeah. I like Larry because it's, it's close.
What else do we got here? Here, take a crack at that. This is the rest of what happened in Georgia.
Georgia. Former Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms. What the? Keisha Lance Bottoms? Okay. Secured the Democratic nomination with 56.2% of the vote, avoiding a runoff and setting up a potential historic run to become the first black woman elected governor. On the Republican side, Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones, 38.4%, and healthcare executive Rick Jackson, 32.5%, advanced to a June 16 runoff after Raffensperger placed third at 15%. Later, buddy, drawing criticism from conservatives over his role in certifying Biden's 2020 win. The open seat race triggered by Governor Brian Kemp's term limits highlights Georgia's competitive politics with strong turnout, signaling high engagement ahead of November. Get out and vote, everybody. This is it.
This guy's the one we want. Burt Jones for the lieutenant governor. He's been fighting back out there, so he'd be the best one to be elected versus the first black woman elected governor of Georgia. Yeah. Not Stacey Abrams have been trying forever. They're going to try a different one. You see how the game's being played, guys? Got to hold down Fulton County and the rest of them, right?
Yeah. Now, who is Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones? Does he happen to be African American?
No, he's, as far as I know, he's a Republican white guy, as far as I know.
Oof. Yeah, I mean, you're in Georgia there, so it's going to be tough. And it's, it's showing if these numbers are accurate here, 56%, and then the other 2 guys are, down 20% less than that. So not looking good. And then you got Raffensperger over there in the freaking gutter. guys, give me some money for some cigarettes.
Oh, yeah. Did you hear what Raffensperger wanted to do for the election to keep it secure?
Oh, no. What's this?
He wanted, well, again, so what do Democrats do every time that something goes wrong? We saw what happened over at the Supreme Court over there in Virginia, and they're like, we're just going to get rid of all the Supreme Court justices, and we're going to go ahead and just age limit all of them out and make them retire. Pretty much what they do every time. So Rathensperger over here decided it was a good idea because they're going to be doing an election over here, that we should have a secret bunker to count all the ballots in. So we're going to take them all from the local areas and we're going to move them into a secret bunker so nobody else can get access to them, because we're not going to let in the Republicans. We definitely are not going to let in that new 5-panel election crew that we have over there. They're definitely not coming in there. So yeah, good luck, guys. We're going to run the election from there. That's their decision out there. Well, we got a court order. Would you like to read it for everybody?
I would love to read it for everybody. Lindell TV, breaking news out of Georgia. Fulton County judge has officially ordered that the Georgia State Election Board members be granted access to Brad Raffensperger controversial, quote, secret bunker, where statewide election results are aggregated. The order, signed by Judge Earl Glanville, was filed this morning and marks a major victory for election transparency advocates after months of backlash over the lockdown facility being hidden from board members, candidates, and the public. There should be equal access and transparency for everyone. Grubbs also raised serious concerns about GA, Secretary of State, allies allegedly having insider access to election operations, while election integrity advocates and even board members were shut out. She further accused Raffensperger of placing election workers in difficult legal territory by reportedly visiting county election offices while actively running for governor, citing Georgia election law restrictions on candidates being present around ballot processing operations. Quote, if Georgia's elections are truly the cleanest and most transparent in the country, why keep this place secret? Massive developments in Georgia elections oversight. Yeah, dude, that's great.
Yeah, remember, Rathensperger was the one that covered for the 2020 elections and kept everything quiet out there. We lost 2 Senate seats over there, which we might get one of them back just due to redistricting. But he was running for governor, and he was going to take Kemp's spot, and because they're buddy. And he just lost, so he's out at this point. So he was also going to do the whole secret bunker because he's running for governor and also the Secretary of State at the same time. So yeah, good luck with that. So I'm not sure exactly how that's going to go down. And this is the same thing they've been dealing with Fulton County and the FBI and the raids, and them start asking questions of what's going on down there. So we still haven't got an answer for that. That's more of the John Solomon stuff that we hear during the week, that he's saying that stuff is coming, and big giant Rico, this and that. We're still waiting. So just as a heads up where this all falls.
Hey, Hulk, you want to remind folks, because I forget, and I genuinely do forget, and I know you remember, but during the 2020 election, was it Kemp or Raffensperger? Who was the daughter's boyfriend that got cooked?
That was Kemp's daughter's boyfriend.
Yeah, just so for folks, who maybe not have seen this stuff back then in 2020, they put investigators out on this case, and then, somebody went kaboom on the highway. Oh no, it was just an accident, but it looked like that car got hit by a friggin' nuke, right? And then what happened? They put the Georgia, the GBI, right, the Georgia the Georgia Bureau of Investigations on it, and then what happened to that guy?
Yeah, suicide.
Yeah, he killed himself too. Whoops, that happened. Yeah. So yeah, nothing to see here, guys. Everything, the most transparent elections in the history of the world, Georgia. There you have it.
Oh, yeah, they finally took Chris Krebs' security clearance from CISA, Cyber Security Agency, like a month ago. I was reading through that. Just as an FYI, you can throw that in your hat too. Yeah, he still has his security clearance all the way up till now, just recently out there. So yeah. What else do we got? Some interesting things just cruising by over here. And look, I didn't even realize Oregon might get a Republican governor for the first time since 1987. Well, I had to go look at that race over there and see what's going on over there. Here's the breakdown.
Choose candidates in that state's gubernatorial race, with both parties jockeying for what could be one of the state's most competitive elections in years. The incumbent Democrat governor, Tina Kotek, reportedly facing plunging approval ratings, with growing concerns over crime, homelessness, and the cost of living. Republicans actually believe they have a rare opportunity to flip the state, which has not elected a GOP governor since the 80s. Joining me now to discuss, Republican candidate for Oregon governor, former NBA player Chris Dudley. Chris, during the 80s, you were at Yale. Now you want to be governor there of Oregon. And for years, we've been asking when these blue states, when is it going to happen? When are they finally going to reach that tipping point when they elect a Republican? Why do you think that time is now, Chris?
Well, I think it's now because I think Oregonians are ready for a change. It's gotten to a place where we're 50th in education for testing on fourth grade, from 47th to job creation. We just have so many struggles. And it came close in 2010, lost by less than 20,000 votes. And I think right now, even more so than then, there's an opportunity here. And we had a poll last week that showed that I was beating the governor head to head, 48 to 44. And so I think there's a path, and it's across, it doesn't matter if you're Republican, Independent, Democrat. You want good schools, you want a growing economy, you want your kids to be able to afford to live where they grew up, and you want safe streets. And that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, and along the safe streets context, you want to end the homelessness crisis there. And it is not getting better.
Interesting comments coming from him. The same thing that's happening with Spencer Pratt down in LA. They went walking around, started talking to locals there, and they started talking to him. What's the number one problem with LA? And everybody is saying homelessness and drugs. Imagine that. Just clean up those two things so they don't vote no more.
It's massive. And yeah, I mean, it wouldn't take much, right? All they need to do is let the friggin', let it work like it's supposed to. Let's get rid of the fraud. And once you got everybody gone that's piling on the fraud, I think, most states would be cruising right along. And you guys have the GDP better than a lot of freaking countries out there, which is like, how can they need help with money, right? And if obviously the answer is fraud. So that fraud is absolutely monumental and just enormous. Like, and we're seeing fraud everywhere be exposed, like billions here, billions there. It's unfathomable that it would be this bad. I had no idea it could even be this bad.
Yeah, exactly. I want to say a quick thank you to Family Man 66 Sling, gifted 5 subscriptions to the Hulkinator channel.
Ooh, yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I just reading also an important note for California out here, because they're having problems with their boondoggle with the big giant bullet train that they're supposed to build. They need more money, and Trump wants his money back. Give me back the $4 billion. I just read an article earlier today that Caltrans now wants to come out with a speed bus. Yeah, just like the movie Speed. It'd be a 140-mile-an-hour bus take you from LA to San Francisco. Why? I don't know. I thought the train was a good idea, but I guess not. So we're going to go with a bus.
Oh, my God. That is dude. That's ridiculous.
Oh, what else do we got here? Republicans have a 76 chance to win New Hampshire governor election. So again, another governor out here that might win over there in New Hampshire. So it's getting interesting with the way the direction is going. So that comes back to, where's my meme from the very beginning? Where was it? This one. Where do we all sit? All the crazy people are at the top, and we're down here voting for ourselves. That's just what it reminds me of, to be honest with you, with some of this crazy crap that we're seeing. So let's see if she could hold it together. She's got some white face out there. So yeah. What else do we got?
I mean, dude, like, as far as I see from, being in that area, there's no way, if everything's on the up and up, I'm telling you, there's no way New Hampshire and Maine are voting anywhere near Democrat. It just doesn't make any sense, especially when you drive around the area. You're like, yeah, no, this is not liberal town. And of course, there are pockets, but generally, no, not even close.
Hi, Army vet girl. I think I see you out there. What else do we got here? Oh, yeah, an endorsement for Ken Paxton coming out of Trump, which means Cornyn is going to be out. So he's currently running he is the Attorney General of Texas and has been going after a lot of big things, COVID. He pushed through a lot of the stuff with the Live Nation concerts and all those sort of things. And then getting Muslim Brotherhood labeled as a terrorist organization, along with the Trump administration, and outlawing a lot of them of what's going on in here in Texas itself. Interesting thing, the Colony Ridge thing. they're suing somebody who did a film. I can't remember who it is, exposing their fraud down there that they're doing in Texas, where they have all the illegal immigrants living in a big giant community with 300,000 of them. Yeah, they're suing the filmmaker for defamation. He's like, it's true. What are you talking about?
Can't sue if it's real.
So yeah, this is happening. Ken Paxton running for the Senate spot itself. I do remember him talking about him watching the congressmen and the senators that go off and go get all lathered up and oiled and then come back a little bit different after they've done their trip through D.C. So let's see if he holds true to keeping that Texas eye out there. So you remember when we were talking about the Democrats, they always react no matter what, and they have to basically cut off their own nose. Did you read this for what Colorado did?
Yeah, this is nice. Absolute meltdown in Colorado. Democrats just censored their own governor, Jared Polis, for commuting Tina Peters' sentence and banned him from speaking or being honored at any party events. 90% of the Colorado Democratic Party voted to punish Polis for showing even a shred of basic humanity and justice. Tina Peters, the election integrity warrior they tried to destroy, is now free, and the radical left is having a full psychotic breakdown. This is who they are. No dissent allowed, no mercy allowed, no deviation from the cult allowed. And yeah, apparently she's going to be released on the 1st of June, unless anything newer that I haven't heard. Okay. But dude, I hadn't heard this part. That's bananas, dude. Like that, they're going to go after him because and rightfully so, right? Because what it came down to was like they put extra time on her because of her views, right? And he said, well, to give people extra time for essentially your First Amendment right is a little ridiculous. And again, 9 years, and it was a totally fair process, Hulk. And remember, the two co-defendants on the side, one of them got 6 months and the other one got probation. So 6 months probation and basically let off versus 9 years, not really fair.
Most secure election in history. Remember when New York Times, or is it the Times that wrote that article about how they fortified the election? Yeah, good times. Good times. What else do we got over here? South Carolina just passed their mega red map, redistricting, eliminating Democrats' Jim Clyburn's seat. So we don't get to see him no more. I'm so happy with that. They're yelling and screaming inside the chamber, so we'll miss that. But dude, that was awesome. We're seeing a lot of changes coming up in this election, a lot faster than we see. And then Vivek Ramaswamy, 100%. Let's get a little bit out of him, because remember, this is training grounds for him, just like a Ken Paxton, or we're seeing over there the gay guy with the cowboy boots I played earlier. Forgetting his name off the top of my head. But again, he tried, Vivek tried to run for president at the time, did pretty good job of the local area there, but wasn't enough to carry the weight to run for president, especially against Trump or any of the other guys out there. But he's sitting over in Ohio, picked up all the seats over here. Let's see what he had to say.
Income tax down from not just 7 brackets to 2, as the leadership has done, but down to 0 brackets because we're going to get rid of the income tax in the state. 0 income tax in the state of Ohio. It is your money, not the government's. You deserve to keep what you earn. We got to celebrate hard work and success. And if 8 other states have managed to do it, then so too will we here in Ohio. People ask me, how are you going to do it? Well, look, if we're the state that sent somebody to be the first man in the world to walk on the moon, this will not be the greatest challenge that Ohio has ever conceived. End the existent spending and overspending of waste, fraud, abuse in different parts of the state. Take a rational approach to get there. First, eliminating capital gains to allow for business formation. Articulate this to the rest of the country. Let the rest of the country know we're right here. A good governor who can market the state to the nation so people move back, so we have economic growth that allows us to go back to 0 tax. We're going to get there while also bringing down the property tax burden in this state, which has gotten way too high. It is unjustly high in the state of Ohio.
So is it a possibility? Maybe. It may be to hold this together. I mean, I agree with you, Reno Gal. You said you can't stand Vivek and doesn't trust him or whatever. And we got a lot of these governors. I mean, is he going to be better than a Gavin Newsom? God, I hope so. I mean, some of them on the opposite side of the team. I mean, we're going to get a Greg Whitmer where she gets kidnapped and the FBI helps her. I mean, there's a lot worse chances of people that we can deal with, right? I mean, if you think about it.
Oh, Vivek Ramaswamy. Whoa, how the mighty have fallen. He was going to be president, ladies and gentlemen. Now he's going to, suffice to be a governor. And who knows? But, let's just say my spidey senses didn't tingle just right with him. They were a little bit off. Kind of how they're off with JD as well. But, we'll leave that for another time.
Yeah, but he only got a book deal, and JD got a book deal and a Netflix show.
And a movie. Yeah. I mean, dude.
Yeah.
From where did he go to college to? There with where all these swamp members do there, Georgetown was it or something like that? But whenever he got to college, they were like, "Oh my God, you grew up poor and you went to the military. You need to write a book about your movie. We've never heard that before. Oh, your mother was a drug addict and then you went to the military. Wow, I've never heard that story before. You definitely need to write a book on that one."
Somebody call Ron Howard.
Somebody call Ron Howard. Yeah, right. I mean, think about
Meryl
that.
Streep.
He's like, "Oh yeah, it's such an amazing story," and it's like, it's not a story we've not ever heard before, right? We've heard people that come out from being poor and people that have had a drug addict, parent or parents and have rose to be, successful. And then remember back then he was just a college guy. So like, wait, why are you? Oh, it's this great thing. Yeah, go write a book. And then we made a movie out of it too. So I could be wrong, but I don't know.
Yeah, just make sure you hit all the chips on the table so we know who we're dealing with.
Oh, name changes? How many name changes the guys had too? Like, what the hell?
Oh yeah, I threw this out. Kevin McCarthy coming out swinging.
We have up on the board for you the candidates that he has backed and those that have won, and it looks, to be like he is running the tables on this one. How do you score things for him and then overall for the midterms?
Well, the one thing I see is that he's the strongest president in a political party that I've seen in my entire lifetime. It's unheard of that you have a president even stronger than Ronald Reagan was. You look at his ability. He endorses people and they win. He has defeated people even by just not endorsing them. You haven't seen this ability before. And just if you take the Republican Party in the last month, the number of victories that he had, you could take all those people that he endorsed. But also when you look at the Virginia Supreme Court pulling back from where the Democrats want to do gerrymander, from the U.S. Supreme Court decision on minority-majority districts, the Republicans, to keep the House, are in a fundamentally different place than they were a month ago. A month ago, no one gave them an opportunity. Democrats would only have to win 3 seats. They now are going to have to win 10 seats. Mm-hmm. That is a gigantic shift in such a short amount of time. And then if you look at the resources that the president has raised, we've never seen this imbalance between Republicans and Democrats, 800 million to 200 million. So I think the perspective of the off-year election here is going to be much different than what history has said in the past.
Yeah, coming out there from McCarthy, so saying he hasn't seen a stronger president since Reagan, which is interesting because they weren't total friends for the last few years, but coming out and supporting the Republican Party is interesting.
Yeah, I wonder what had happened to him. I haven't seen him in a minute. And the strongest president and political party that I've seen in my lifetime. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who he's thinking of, pre his lifetime, but yeah, I mean, whenever he goes out there, he usually is getting it. And remember, early on, it wasn't like this in the first administration. Some of them he would win, some of them he wouldn't. But now it's like you saw yesterday, 37-0. Which, by the way, Hulk, did you know 37 also has a very interesting view post to it as well? Basically talks about these are the real patriots and things like that going forward. So I thought it was interesting. It says these are the real patriots are 37.
Huh.
That's what
that is interesting. Well, I mean, you got the whole Ronda Rousey thing done in 17 seconds. I'm just saying if we're going to do that.
What'd you make of that though? Seriously, because I put the video up like kind of tongue in cheek.
That's Saturday. Tune in for the Hulk and Space Shot. So Saturday morning at 10 a.m. or 1 p.m. Eastern for that talk. We got a whole bunch of stuff to get into on that.
Wasn't that what we're doing now? Oh wait, it's not Saturday now? Crap.
No, it's not Saturday. Sir, you didn't sleep through the phone call again.
Hulk, really quickly, 37, post 37. They are the true patriots we'll never forget. Let these coming days be remembered in our history as the time we fought to recapture the Republic from those evil bad actors who for so long have sacrificed the good people of this land for their own personal gain. Fight the good fight, let justice be served. Kaboom.
What was her deal here? I tried to find out how many ballots she got charged with over here.
Here's the
deal. Because this is him just chasing down to her apartment here.
Homeless people, right? Yeah. I don't know
Her
if they
paying
got-
Skid Row homeless individuals cash for incentives to register to vote. So this was the one that was down in L.A., Marina del Rey area, where she's walking around handing out cash for signatures itself. And it's kind of the same thing they were doing over in MacArthur Park, because that group was over there too with busting all the gangs and drugs, and you had fake IDs and voter registrations, all those sort of things. So this is one that James O'Keefe had put together over here and then set it out on the internet, and it kind of blew up, and the DOJ finally got out to indict her. What this means, I don't know, but we'll just go to the door.
Who's giving you the cash? Join the good guys. Join cash for a voter registration form. It's a federal felony. It's a federal felony to give cash.
This is it. She's been indicted.
This is you on tape. So what's going on? What's going on is that it's a federal crime, and the Department of Justice is looking into this because you gave cash for a voter registration form. You know it's a federal crime, right? So what's going on? Well, what's going on is I'm a journalist and I published a video about it. That's you, right? I asked you why you did it. Why'd you do it? Who do you work for? Who's giving you the cash? Join the good guys. Join us. Be a hero. Blow the whistle on it, Brenda. Come to our side. Take the video off. Take it off? You can be a hero and tell the world who's giving you the cash. We want to work with you. Okay. Very good. I'll do that. Can the two of us? My security guard is here.
So I just find that interesting. So some of these people are starting to get charged. As small as it may be, they're still out there doing their job. And some of these people are getting charged for this.
Heck yeah, as they should be. And there's too much of it. And thankfully, we have people like him and the guy, whoever gave out all that information that Nick Shirley picked up on afterwards, and people like Nick Shirley following up with that. Because there was a dude that was like 10 years before him talking about all that stuff in Minnesota anyway. But it's not only Minnesota, a crap load in California and Minnesota and a lot elsewhere as well. Dude, I would not doubt my state of Rhode Island has a bunch of that same crap going on as well. They still do. I wonder if the Clinton Foundation whistleblowers can give me some tips how to go start digging into some of these leering centers here.
What's the other thing we got going on over here? Harvey Dillon, who's doing the election integrity across the United States, still has issues with two big states, California and Oregon. They're not turning over the voter rolls, but she did make a little announcement here.
Hi, I'm here outside the very beautiful Pasadena courthouse where the Ninth Circuit just held oral argument on two important cases under the Civil Rights Act of 1960 regarding both Oregon and California's refusal of the United States Department of Justice Civil Rights Division request to get the voter rolls from each of these two states so that we can help these states comply with the National Voter Registration Act and the Help America Vote Act. I want to introduce the incredible team who argued these cases today. Andrew Braniff argued the Oregon appeal, and Jim Tucker helped both of my colleagues here prepare, as well as prepare for answers to questions that the court asked during the oral argument. And then finally, David Goldman, who just finished arguing the California appeal. And we're expecting probably from some of the questions of the court, a consolidated ruling on both of these appeals. What's at stake is the ability of the United States to exercise its right under the Civil Rights Act to obtain voter records and make sure that states are not violating the rights of citizens, refusing to keep accurate voter rolls under our federal voting statutes, and are just treating people fairly so that we can all believe in the outcome of our elections. So stay tuned.
So just things I'm thinking about with this, because they're pushing these states to release voter rolls so they can make sure that they're not illegal immigrants and all the things we've also heard about. What happens if they fail to comply, period? 100%, all the way up to election. It's a federal election. You know, we can't do anything with state and local elections, but federal controls a federal election, even though it's going to be instituted by the state. So if these states are out of compliance, what happens? I don't know. I find that interesting.
Well, I know on certain stuff, like with the fraud, like they were basically telling them, like, if you don't get the information, you know, you're not getting the funding. But so what do you do about the voting? Do you not let them perform votes in a certain area or whatever? Or, I mean, you definitely got to clean it up.
Yeah, I mean, we got the governor's race coming up, but I don't think there's any congressman out of California running on a federal side. So I don't know. I just find it interesting is how do you get them to comply? They've been fighting the entire time, and Rob Bonta, the attorney general, is fighting everything to get access to any of these files.
Hiccup.
Sorry,
Hickey.
I almost died.
Hulk, I'm going to have to do right now. I literally have to do it right now because I don't want it to go away. Can you check to see if you have a weird Rumble wallet? Because this one is super weird. and if anybody, I apologize, but they usually put a couple of them down, and one of this is 9 times the amount of what it generally is, or almost 10 times the amount of what it is. So they do make these mistakes.
Leave Holman, that's the one I would have to do.
All right, we want to split up then, because I can't miss this one. This is keeping the lights on for sure.
All right, I'm gonna deafen out of you guys really quick, and I'll be back.
There we go, guys. He won't hear us, we won't hear him, but just allow me about a minute, and I'll tell you guys about Rumble Wallet, of which we have we've done a few times here, but. Yes, we do gratefully appreciate Rumble for helping us out here. Much better than that other platform that we're streaming on right now. But, all right, guys, we hear a lot about crypto. But here's the part most people miss. Crypto was created so you could actually own and control your own money. After the 2008 financial crisis, Bitcoin was designed as an alternative to banks. So instead of a bank holding your money, delaying transfers or limiting access, you are the one that's in control. And if you ever had to wait for a transfer to clear, you felt that problem. Now, fast forward to today. Everybody's heard of crypto, but getting started still feels complicated. That's why I use Rumble Wallet. It takes all of that complexity and makes it simple. Choose what you want: Bitcoin, dollar-backed stablecoins, or even digital gold backed by real gold. No complicated setup. It connects with MoonPay, so you can use your credit card, debit card, or bank and be up and running in minutes. And once you're set up, you can even support your favorite Rumble creators like me directly. So do this now. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description box below and download Rumble Wallet. From there, you can set up your Rumble Wallet. Tap buy and you're in the game. In just a few minutes, you can go from hearing about crypto to actually owning some. Boom. I done yet?
I did one that I picked. It was a high dollar ticket. It was for an Israel thing, like gift boxes for Israel and surprise boxes to your house in here. And then there's a Wise Money for Israel here also in here.
I saw that.
So they're getting in here because the other thing is California. I told them last Saturday, Cars for Kids song is now banned in California because money was just going to all the elites in Israel too. So yeah, it's interesting to see these guys over here.
Yeah, that one was, and so, we talk about it from time to time, or I do at least in the chat, which is like they give us a couple of different ads and stuff, but that's funny, dude. The one that I was looking at was, I looked at it earlier. It doesn't even give me a dollar amount, but it tells me, here's the ad, guys. What you can't say. You cannot guarantee anything, whatever. It says, here's the script. You love Israel. You stand with Israel. But did you know your portfolio can stand with them too? So I guess it's some sort of investing in Israel. It's like, oh, oy vey. But yes, thank you guys for allowing us to take that time. That helps me keep the lights on here, and therefore I don't have to beg or ever ask you guys for donations for myself, which I don't like to do. I pay friends to do that.
Yes, and we do appreciate everybody who donates into the show. It is much appreciated.
Yes, sir. But yeah, dude, things are just getting so wild, and the amount of fraud out there is just it's unnervingly high, right? Like 20 billion here, 30 billion there, hundreds of millions here, and just the amount of those what do they call those old folks places? The hospices. I mean, dude, that is just ungodly amounts of people or businesses in that small amount of area. It just makes zero sense. And so hopefully we'll clean all this stuff up. And then you guys could be zooming right along over there. You guys should be loving it and living it up in California. But they've destroyed, the financial way of life over there anyway.
Yeah, well, we got a governor that's going to get ousted here shortly, and then they're going to move on to the new election. So we'll see what happens. They put together out there. What else do we got over here? Trump's DOJ is demanding 865,000 Detroit, Michigan 2024 election ballots to ensure the election laws were followed. So Harmy Dillon's asking with a court order to poke Michigan's 2024 election numbers to see if they could put that together. He's also saying you might want to check Wisconsin's also over there, but that's interesting. This is right around the same numbers that what's his name, Digital Watch is kicking out of California again because they're going to the mat again and pulling out about 800,000 voters out of California again. So interesting.
800,000. Like, dude, that is crazy. The amount that these people are doing. And that means that's what they needed to do to fake or to steal it, essentially. Crazy.
Oh, yeah. Here's the whole breakdown, the last part, I believe, of the election stuff.
And you're taking 9 seats away. Now, okay, this is more than game on. Mm-hmm. So when this conflict comes to a close and gas prices start coming down, by the time the Republicans have their convention in August, this could be a totally different story.
But you know what it is going to encourage both sides to do? To market to the independent voters that are out there. Just because it is a Republican +2 or +4 or a Democrat +4 or 5 doesn't mean that it's a solid seat for them. So you got to market to the people in the center as well. Make your case to them.
Look at this map. In California, you've got 3 to 5 Democrats, probably extra Democrats than Republicans. In Utah, 1. Texas, 3 to 5 Republicans. North Carolina looks like it's set for the Republicans with 1. Ohio. You can look at the list, and then the pink is in progress. And that's probably going to be GOP.
But the thing is, this is the other theory. That so now if you don't let independents...
So that's a very interesting map that's coming along here. Of what we're looking at. Some are still hanging. We might not get to Louisiana. Florida seems to be doing an entire redistricting out there. So we could add additional 4 seats on top of this, the way that they're doing their census redistricting. So we might go up to I think they're at 22 or something and go to 25 or 28 congressional seats just for Florida, competing with California out there. So just interesting the way this stuff is all laying out, and then we'll see if it all pulls together.
It's going to be interesting. And, if these primaries were any indication, it looks like it's going good, even in the face of these things not being pushed through Congress and they're on hiatus, taking a break. Oh, God. But hey, good news, Hulk. I have to reiterate, people, and I just reposted what you're looking at on the right side of the screen there, Alex Jones. He's on, and actually Patrick, what's his name, is on there with them right now. But I had to because it ticks me off so bad, dude, that people just can't see it. So I said, guys, remember, been telling y'all for what, 8 years? Alex Jones. I said it is an event. It did friggin' spell checked on me, dude. An event. So it was supposed to be an enemy of the United States. And remember, we were told in the drops a long time ago. Remember, he's Mr. President Trump's, best buddy and good friend and this, that, and the other. No, not. Remember, Free Systems LLC.
Oh, yeah. Read this for everybody. I thought this was interesting because I didn't hear about this story.
Why, certainly. Mark at Patriot Mark Cook. National alert. Elections infrastructure emergency. The Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, or CISA, the federal agency tasked with securing U.S. election infrastructure, suffered a catastrophic breach. Sensitive credentials were exposed on a public GitHub repository for 6 months. Oh, boy. Here's my hand on my cheek like, oh, really? Wow, gee, Williker. On November 13th, 25, a contractor created the private CISA repository. It remained public until May 15th of this year. The 844 megabyte leak contained plain text passwords, high-privileged AWS GovCloud administrative credentials, SSH
Amazon.
keys. Okay.
It's Amazon.
Web Service, GovCloud, because remember they do the cloud service for the government, right? SSH keys, authentication tokens, Entra ID, SAML certificates, and internal system access details. CISA is directly responsible for protecting the nation's critical election infrastructure, including voter registration databases, voting systems, and polling infrastructure. This incident demonstrates complete failure of a basic operational security by America's lead cybersecurity agency. Researchers called it one of the worst leaks observed. While CISA claims no compromise, the extended exposure window.
Blah, blah, blah.
Dude, so why do they put this on a friggin' GitHub website at all? Period. At all.
It reminds me of the exact same thing we saw right before the 2020 election over in Pennsylvania when they had the break-in at the election little network there, and they took a whole bunch of USB drives and the poll workers' laptop that you use to program all the machines with. It just disappeared. All the things you'd need to steal an election with is basically all this stuff right here that was out there. That it's all the passwords and the keys for the keys for the kingdom were leaked online. How it got there out of CISA being being leaked out there is an interesting thing. But this is keys to the kingdom on the back end. That's not good.
And again, ladies and gentlemen, the most safe and secure election in the history of the universe.
Exactly. What else do we got? Oh, I wanted to throw this out. This was in 2018. They would do the cyber symposiums in Vegas or whatever. So an 11-year-old changed election results and replica state website in under 10 minutes. 35 out of the 39 kids who were successfully able to hack replica of Secretary of State's website from 6 swing states. Multiple types of election machinery were easily hacked as well, showing that these machines were extremely vulnerable. Now, I bet you the best hackers in the world were doing this with an unlimited budget. So, yeah. So they got a whole bunch of kids together, and they went to the little cyber symposium in 2018 in Las Vegas, and they brought them out there, and they had 40 kids out there, and 35 of them were able to hack the election computers.
And a 10-year-old, 11-year-old too, dude. So that's sickening. Ugh.
Yeah, so some play Pokemon. Just to throw that out there. The other thing that came out, we're going to play all of this little piece right here, is the DNC released their report on how they lost the election with Kamala Harris. Anybody want to get a condensed version of it, or we want to hear what they said?
Let them squirm. I like to hear it.
Here we go.
Breaking news, new exclusive reporting first into the Situation Room. CNN has obtained the Democrats' long-awaited autopsy of the 2024 election, documenting what went wrong in Kamala Harris's loss to President Trump. After publicly promising its release, DNC Chair Ken Martin pulled the plug on the elusive report last year, sparking fierce criticism within the party.
CNN senior reporter Isaac Dover got his exclusive hands on all of this. He's joining us now in the Situation Room. Isaac, this report, you were a big part in why it came out in the first place. Excellent reporting on your part. After back and forth from the DNC chair, Ken Martin, on whether or not he'd release it in full. So what's inside it?
Well, so first of all, that is an important part of this. The plan was not to release this report. The report was released to me after I had obtained a lot of the detail and contents of what was in there. And the report that we have published on our website is with annotations from the DNC lawyers undercutting a lot of what is in the report. That said, it gets into things about spending decisions and organizing that was done by the DNC, ways to possibly improve it. But there are a lot of things in that version that are incomplete. And also, it does not touch a couple of topics that a lot of people were very interested in and thought were the reasons for this report not being out. There's nothing about Joe Biden and what happened in the debate. There's nothing about Kamala Harris getting the nomination without any kind of primary process. And also, there is nothing about the way that voters were responding to Gaza and how the Joe Biden and Kamala Harris policies and comments about it were hitting their minds.
So a lot was missing in that report. I know you reached out to the current DNC chair, Ken Martin. who we noted earlier has come under some fire for initially not releasing this report to the public. What's he now saying?
Well, he apologized in a statement to me for how he handled it, and he said that he was releasing it to me because he feels like this is about getting back to some level of transparency. But he says in the statement that the report was not ready for prime time. That's how he put it, and that's why he chose not to do it, that it's full of a lot of problems. And again, we are publishing the full report so that people can see it and read for themselves and make their decisions about what's in there.
Because in the full report, there's spelling issues, there's errors, and just basic facts. Why didn't they have a more polished, put together report at this point in the game?
Well, look, and this was after a year of work on it, and the story that I have up that goes along with the publishing of the report goes through the whole process of how this went down. Martin hired a friend of his as a part-time volunteer to be the person in charge of this report, and that person, I get into a lot of the conversations that person was having. His name is Paul Rivera, that he was having with people and how those conversations went, but also a lot of conversations that he wasn't having. For example, he did not speak to almost anybody who was in a leadership position on the Biden campaign or the Harris campaign. He didn't speak to Joe Biden. He didn't speak to Kamala Harris. He didn't speak to Tim Walz. He did not speak to, when it comes to the Gaza issue, any of the leaders of the Uncommitted movement, which was the protest movement, pro-Palestinian protest movement. He didn't speak to Jewish groups or pro-Israel groups. So it wasn't just leaving out one part of that conversation. He left out all parts of that conversation. And that has led to...
What the hell? He ain't talking to nobody, so he's like making shit up because, I mean, I could have came up with some ideas. Like, should I talking to Donna Brazil? I think she was still part of the DNC there at that time as we're rolling up to the election out there. And then you got to remember, Kamala Harris talked to us like we're a grade school, and she loves buses because they're yellow, right?
And she was drunk all the time. But yeah, dude, that is super, super bad. The DNC autopsy is bad and as evasive as we thought. So yeah, dude, everything that they were basically giving excuses for, I thought it was especially juicy when they said, "Oh, they failed to define Trump." Really? They failed to slander Trump. Is that what they're going at? Really? Because I think they did a pretty good job of slandering Trump for, I don't know, like the last solid 10 years, essentially.
What else do we got here? Comments with Trump and on the SAVE Act. Yeah, he's still on the filibuster group itself. I'm not sure exactly how we're going to get this passed, but we'll hear his comments out there.
I think the elections are so rigged, and we have to do something about it, and we're going to do something about it. But we cannot continue to have, and frankly, the Senate and the House, they ought to get together and they ought to pass the Save America Act so that you have a voter ID, and it's so important you have proof of citizenship, little thing like proof of citizenship. And also mail-in voting, which is so crooked. So in Maryland, as you probably saw, they had 500,000 mail-in votes that were corrupt. They were corrupt. They said the printer made a mistake. Don't believe that. And they got caught with 500,000 mail-in ballots that were corrupt. We've got to stop it. We have a country that has a very corrupt... We have more corrupt elections than third world countries have. And we ought to get smart. Pass the Save America Act. That'll be a long way. You have voter ID, voter identification. The Democrats don't want to pass. Now, I'll tell you what, the Democrat voters do want to pass, 87%. But the Democrat politicians don't want to pass. And the reason is they'd never be elected again. Because with their policy of open borders, transgender for everyone, I call it transgender mutilization of your children for everybody, men playing in women's sports, all of the stuff that they do, high taxes. They want a tax hike. They voted in favor of high taxes. They voted against a tax cut. They voted in favor of men playing in women's sports. I don't know what these people are thinking. The only way they can win is to cheat, and that's what they want to do. And we ought to pass the Save America Act. Yeah, please. Yes.
So the other thing, it seems like since the administration has come to power, that all the Democratic states have increased their taxes. Since the slush fund is starting to run out. That's the other thing I've noticed lately, as both sides of the aisle trying to still hold on to this deep state corruption and still let it fester. I mean, it's got a hold on both sides, guys.
Yeah, they got to get rid of. They got to do whatever they can, right? Dude, this is getting very, very juicy. I'm loving it. But again, I know they got some sort of plan in play here, right? And to his point earlier about, he said, I think it was yesterday, maybe the day before, it's like, oh, and I think one of the people touched on it earlier in the thing when he said, when this is over with Iran, the gas prices will go down severely, then inflation, this, that, and the other. So just imagine fast forward a few months and gas is, $1.85, $2. And if they could even get it lower than that, that'd be great. But that would still mean you guys are still paying like $4.50.
Oh, good Lord. I don't know how they're going to ever fix how California operates over here. Maybe a Republican could fix it. I don't know. It might be unfixable. Speaking of interesting things out there, here's your little surprise Twitterverse out here. Did you see this?
No. I'm Hunter Biden. You've never actually heard from me.
That was his first tweet.
Huh.
Ever.
Hunter Biden
is
the
and he's going on
crack.
Exactly.
The Oppenheimer
I know.
crack.
yeah, he is pretty much. But I wanted to throw that out there. A couple interesting comments we're going to hit off right here. Let's go.
And what happened to me, and I really mean this, is that the exposure, not piecemeal, but the total exposure, my entire digital footprint stolen from me, a 20-year digital footprint, every text message, every picture, all of the things that that you would be ashamed of became front page news for 4 years, 5 years, beginning in 2019. And it forced me into a choice. And the choice was, do I get out of bed and live, or do I die? And it became that much of a dichotomy. And I chose to live. And what
I was going to ask you, Space Shot, out of all the evidence that we've seen over the years and the stuff that we've dug into, on a scale of like a 1 to 10 scale, how much of Hunter Biden have you seen in family photos that he's taken actual pictures of? Compared to some of the other illicit photos that we've seen. So he does a lot of family photos and normal stuff, right?
Yeah, no, not much of the family stuff. More like foot jobs from crackheads, sexual acts, smoking crack, smoking more of that stuff, and then more smoking of that stuff, and then more, what type of acts, and then another foot job. Not much on the family side of things.
Yeah, that whole YouPorn edition that he did over there, that he was streaming his porn on over there. And then also talking to the hooker in Russia, talking about how they took his laptop. Remember that? Yeah, good times.
Oh, the one where he woke up and they thought he was dead. And they were like, what are we going to do? And oh my goodness. Yeah, dude. There's so much to dig in with this guy, and it's so bad.
Wait, there's more. Let's go. Let's go more.
I mean, whether it's Butler or Charlie or these things that it's just not right. And I mean, it's so glaringly not right. It's almost as if they're just saying,
F you.
F you.
They're not even trying.
Care.
We don't even get good psyops anymore. And that's what I keep saying. I'm like, it's so disrespectful that we're not even getting good psyops anymore. Like we're supposed to believe he survived 4 assassination attempts, the first president that's ever survived 4 assassination attempts. Yeah. They lie to us about things, they make a big deal, and then they make it want to, it's going to go away. They're going to keep pretending and telling us that this is a totally normal grieving widow. Okay. No one's buying that. Like that something's just not right here. Everyone can see that this is not how you would react to your husband being shot. And this sort of just, I'm fine. And I like 2 weeks later, I fully accept the narrative. I have no interest in anything else. It's over. Let's close it. I forgive him. Let's move on. You're asking us to abandon our common sense and our humanity is what you're asking us to do. And that kind of seems like where we're at. Like they're insisting on this. And I'm going, where is this going to go? Because we're not doing the thing they want us to do. Like they are just constantly giving us slop all the time. I mean, even the recent White House Correspondents' Dinner, there was so much theater to it after, so much theater. And now it's kind of okay, Secret Service maybe shot each other and we're just going to kind of quietly move on. But Trump needs a ballroom. Like that's a normal reaction. Hey, there's a shooting duck. Hey, well, we better get that ballroom.
And by the way, it's going to cost $1 billion now. And by the way, it's not from donors. And by the way, we're going to do it. It's just the constant, like, talk about gaslighting.
This has been just this, and we're not even, are we even a year into Trump's second term?
We're a little over a year.
A little over a year in second and I don't think there's just been, I'm like, how are we going to do?
So yeah, that comes back to that again.
Oh God, totally whack jobs. I mean, it's par for the course, and that's why I put out when she posted the other day. Oh, me and Hunter on Thursday. I said, oh, are you going to ask him how good, of friends him and Tucker were? I said, because that relationship seemed a little closer than, hey, can I borrow some sugar? When you're asking the guy to write you a college reference to get your kid into college, it seems to me you're a little closer than that.
Well, we played that clip on Saturday of him being on Theo Vaughn's podcast, and he was talking to Theo Vaughn about how hard it was to quit cocaine. Remember that? And Tucker Carlson said, how'd you get after the 2 weeks, this and that, and knew all about it. So just thought it was interesting. And the news actor, or the news guy that they mentioned there in that thing, I can't remember what his name was at the same time. You remember that?
Can't remember the news.
There was the other person they had mentioned. Oh, this guy was a great partier up in your area, blah, blah, blah. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but
yeah, I do remember stuff.
I'll think about that for a second here. What's DOJ AG Branch say about some interesting stuff here?
President is one, not true. But two, it's very telling that that's the reaction from Democrats, because it proves the point that President Trump has been saying for a very long time, which happens to be true, which was for the first time in our nation's history, you had an administration seek to destroy the previous administration, not just President Trump, anybody that came in contact with him. I've said it before, but you're talking about his gardeners being put in the grand jury, his Secret Service detail being put multiple times in the grand jury. That's what the last administration did to try to destroy President Trump. And he has said publicly, and I very much agree with him, that he doesn't want this to ever happen again to anybody. And so how do you go about making sure it doesn't happen again to anybody? Well, you change the culture, which is what we're doing. You also set up a mechanism where people that did have it weaponized, have this Department of Justice and this federal government weaponized against them, can apply. Does it mean they're going to get money? No, it doesn't mean they're going to get money. It just invites them to apply.
And they make a case of some kind to meet some standard, right?
Yes, and there's a flaw in the legal system, because this legal system was not set up to compensate for what the Democrats and what Biden and what Garland did for 4 years. It doesn't know how to cope with the fact that hundreds and hundreds of administration officials had their phones taken from them. Members of the Senate had their had their phone records subpoenaed and weren't told about it. The system isn't set up for that.
In answers to questions previously put before you this morning, did you took, I assume, because what the settlement agreement says, you eliminated certain individuals from being qualified to receive benefits from this fund. What's the list of those individuals?
Well, the plaintiffs in the underlying lawsuit have agreed to accept an apology. So that's President Trump and his sons, I believe. And otherwise, there is no limitation. So whether you're Hunter Biden or whether you're another individual who believed they were a victim of weaponization, they can all apply to this fund. And again, it doesn't mean the commissioners will agree. It doesn't mean that they're getting $10 million or whatever was just read a few minutes ago. It just means that you can apply.
And the decision by the commission is by...
This is at the end of the weaponization. So Trump dropped his lawsuit for $10 billion against the DOJ for weaponization and all that. And they're going to set up a slush fund. And they're going to use $1.7 billion, I think, for the anti-weaponization fund. The Democrats don't want this whatsoever. They're absolutely freaking out. They're trying to put forth legislation to stop this from happening. But again, like Todd Blanche said, that Hunter Biden could apply for it if he wanted to.
Yeah, Hunter Biden could apply. Jay Sixers could apply. And it's laughable to me, right? Because I'm like, wait, are these people? They do think we're stupid, right? And the whole thing, like when you hear these people that come out, like Schiff or Hakeem Jeffries, and you kind of notice how some of the other people haven't been around lately. Like, where's Nancy Pelosi out there speaking out lately? Where's Schiff out there speaking out lately? They're all being very quiet, and then you got Hakeem Jeffries like kind of stepping to the forefront here. So I find it interesting that some of them are kind of quieting it down here, but people were weaponized. They ruined people's lives. And on top of it, the whole thing about like, they think that we have amnesia or something, right? Like they think that we forgot what they did, how many times they indicted him, all the people that they brought in, and they actually have the gall to say, oh, he's going after his political rivals. Like they never did all the crap that they did starting in 2015 before he was even, dead running for president, the whole way through. Like, so that for me is like, how can they say that stuff with a straight face? Political experts.
When you were talking there, it reminds me of the congressional testimony from, I don't know, this is 16 or 17, whatever, when the I can't remember where he's from, but they had this black gentleman that was asking one of the Navy admiral guys that what would happen if we get too many people on the island of Guam? Would it flip over?
Really?
you remember that, sir? The island can't flip over. It's attached to the earth.
Oh, and just really quickly, of course, it's 1.7 billion. But Hulk, it's not that, it's Q. It's because they made it 1776, 1.776 million. Wink, wink.
Yeah, exactly. The other part that's coming out here, from, we'll play it. We'll just play it from Jim Jordan because I didn't see this coming.
He's committed to come. We also sent a subpoena yesterday for documents dealing with this fraud. They called these guys field sources. Here's a key question I have, too. Were any of the guys they were paying, was the Biden Justice Department paying these same guys confidential human sources? We know 26 confidential human sources were at the Capitol on January 6th. 4 went in the Capitol. They weren't authorized to do so. I want to know if any of these guys were double dipping and taking money from the government and from the Southern Poverty Law Center. That's one of the things we want to find out.
That would be another new chapter if true.
Oh, because, they're already paying for Charleston stuff down there, KKK this, and all the right people to carry on the racist mantra that they were trying to sell on Trump. Over there. So why wouldn't the Southern Poverty Law Center be paying the January 6ers that were doing the insurrection, right? That makes sense. We got to go into the Capitol.
That's right. Fed. Damn, were they right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, speaking of that, yeah.
Nice.
Jack Smith's friends got a little bit of a problem here. What's Solomon have to say about it?
Remember the raid on Mar-a-Lago? Well, this prosecutor was in support of that case. She helped Jack Smith bring those charges. She herself was charged Wednesday for allegedly illegally emailing herself a copy of the classified report that Jack Smith wrote, the report that a judge said could not be released to the public. She disguised the material, I'm not making this up, as cake recipes, and then tried to move them to her private email address, but the Justice Department's tech team discovered it. And now the indicted prosecutor, Carmen Mercedes Lineberger, who was a managing assistant U.S. attorney for the Fort Pierce branch of the Miami U.S. Attorney's Office, faces multiple felony counts. She's been charged with 2 counts of theft of government money or property, the destruction, alteration, or falsification of records in a federal investigation, and concealing, removing, or mutilating public records. She pleaded not guilty. This is the sort of case that brings accountability to a deep state that sometimes feels it can do what it wants, that it treats the American people's product as their own, tries to take it as their own. Remember, not that long ago, John Bolton, the former national security advisor, was similarly charged for trying to move classified information to his private email. This is another example of that. Seldom do we see a prosecutor prosecute themselves, but today we see that. Now, the department, in announcing these charges, said that in separate instances in late 25, Lineberger altered the electronic file names of government records that she received in her official capacity to conceal her unauthorized electronic transmission of the records to her personal email accounts. In other words, she moved in a personal email. She stole.
That's it. That's an interesting thing she was doing at the email thing. But did we ever hear an ending to John Bolton's case? I don't remember that exactly where that's going to land.
No, I don't think
Remember
so.
the whole raid and they had the wife standing out in front of the house and I don't know. I don't know where that landed, but that was an interesting thing that Lionberger got in trouble for buncakerecipe.pdf.
Oh, God, which was obviously they renamed something else to make it seem like it was Bunt Cake Recipe, but it was not. Probably the worst part about Jack Smith's aide stealing those classified documents is how recently this happened, meaning she remained inside the DOJ the entire time with continued access and the ability to interfere, undermine, and sabotage this whole time. But guess what? She got outed. They were watching her, apparently.
Yeah, it just shows that they're still there, and that goes back to that thought of when James Comey was talking about that they're still in there. Is that this one? I think I got it coming up here. Oh, yeah. They asked Trump that question again because we should actually play this clip. This one. A little bit of this.
The top level, the people running it. If you're bragging about forcing out career prosecutors and agents because the president doesn't like a lawful investigation they conducted, something is seriously broken at the top. But I have great confidence in the people down below who are just trying to hang on. And I'm urging them, hang on 2.5 years, and then we can rebuild these institutions. But we need good people in those roles. America does.
All right. Director Comey, let me turn to your...
So, yeah, his legions are still there is what he's saying, and he still talks to them as they're still operating today. And again, Trump said this.
Over the weekend, Mr. President, he suggested that there's still people in your DOJ and FBI that are waiting you out. They're waiting until your administration is over to get back to work. Do you think those people are still in the DOJ and FBI?
I hope not. Well, we're going to seek them out. We'll seek them out. We'll get rid of them. Okay? Because you have in every agency, you have scum. And certainly they did it at the FBI and DOJ. But Todd Blanche is doing a fantastic job. Cash is doing a very good job. So we will prevail. I've been standing here a long time with you, many years, right? And they've been saying, I think it's it. I think he's troubled. Here I am, It's a very constant situation. But I think you're going to find that we have great people in the FBI. And we have great people in DOJ. Todd Blanche has really been doing a great.
So, yeah, deep state holdouts, dude. I mean, it's almost like a Leviathan that you can't get rid of.
Yeah, same thing was said by John Brennan not a couple of weeks ago, that there's people that are inside there. And, again, this goes back to just what I was talking about. It's like Jim Comey comes on, oh, if you're bragging about getting rid of career prosecutors, well, why is he bragging about it? Because they were doing illegal stuff, and it wasn't on an up-and-up investigation. Now that we actually have the facts of what was really going on and that we now know, and we've known for quite some time, that they knew the whole damn time that he wasn't doing anything wrong, but they continue to push it and push it and push it. So this is just, it's crazy that they come out with that tone. But again, you're a professional politician, essentially, the James Comeys of the world, that just, you can just pretend like none of that happened and that Trump's going after me for no damn reason.
Yeah, Christopher Wray's been kind of quiet too. I find that interesting. I haven't seen much of him. But Comey's all over the place with the book deal, and they're going after his money. So we'll see what that holds in together. We're still waiting for the Southern District of Florida and DeGeneva, because he's been real quiet, because he's been tasked on that group there with Quinones and doing the 150 subpoenas out there for Judge Eileen Cannon, because they've returned the grand jury. So that's still cooking down there, guys. So we'll see what happens.
I got a little update for you, buddy. Bolton, as you mentioned, John Bolton was indicted October of 25, 18 counts related to alleged mishandling and transmission of classified information, pled not guilty. Case is being held by Judge Theodore Chuang in the U.S. District Court for the District of Maryland. Multiple filings since then.
Of course.
Show ongoing disputes over classified evidence under the CIPA, or Classified Information Procedures Act. Reports from late 25 indicate the classified document review process could push any actual trial into 2027. So, Yeah, they're basically kicking it back and forth about what's classified, what's not, and blah, 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 blah. Paperwork back and forth.
Well, I hope he holds on to that mustache. We'll see how it goes.
Maybe he's singing like a canary right now. Who knows?
Hey, you want to read this one for everybody? Because, I didn't expect this on the docket.
Yes, very interesting. Now, the indictment against former Cuban dictator Raul Castro has been unsealed and released. Castro faces the death penalty. A federal grand jury has indicted him and his co-conspirators for, count 1, conspiracy to kill U.S. nationals, count 2 and 3, destruction of aircraft, counts 4 through 7, moida. Moida, you say, huh?
This one right here, right there.
All right.
This is why.
FBI Director Kash Patel says in 1996, 4 brothers to the rescue members, including 3 U.S. citizens. 4 brothers to the rescue members, including 3 U.S. citizens, took off from Florida on a humanitarian mission to help rafters fleeing Castro's Cuba. Cuban MiGs shot their civilian planes out of the sky over international waters. Carlos Costa, Armando Alejandro Jr., Mario de la Peña, Pablo Morales. For 30 years, their families waited for answers. This FBI never forgot. Today, of superseding indictment charges Raul Castro and 5 Castro regime co-defendants with conspiracy to kill U.S. nationals, 2 counts of destruction of aircraft, and 4 counts of murder, and is a major step towards accountability. And if you can, basically try to get some action going on down there. Apparently, they rejected $100 million worth of aid, and apparently they have no power, no food, no nada.
Yeah, so this is going on just as they're doing it as a group. It's Raul Castro and 5 Castro regime co-defendants, probably all part of that military group that's down there, doing them all at the same time, which I find interesting because, Colombia over there, they charged a big giant narco group down there. I mean, all the way up from the head guy sitting at the table running it, all the way down to the drug runners, they charged them in one big giant RICO case. So they're not doing these individual cases and go off the drug runner and the middle guy. Nope, they did the whole group all at once. I was like, holy shit. So it's interesting to see how some of these charges and changes are happening because, our guy, I can't remember which one, McMullen is down in talking to Scheinbaum right now about what's going down in their narco state. So it's moving along quite quickly as I'm seeing some of the reaction to narco terrorism and stuff.
Yeah, it is. And things are just seeming to be, ever since Pam Bondi kind of left, we've been seeing a very seemingly kick up in activity all over the place.
So here's another one I didn't expect to see. Here. Oh, wait, we should do this one. Read that one for everybody.
All right. Trump left Beijing on Friday. The DOJ pulled the trigger on 7 Chinese nationals on Tuesday. The indictment had been loaded since October. The summit ended with handshakes. The cartel case ended in the dock. 4 days after President Donald Trump wrapped up his, quote, fantastic Beijing visit, the one where he praised Xi as a great leader and dangled trade deals worth hundreds of billions, the U.S. Department of Justice walked into a federal courthouse and unsealed an indictment that had been waiting in a drawer since October of 25. The target, 7 Chinese executives and 4 Chinese shipping container manufacturers, CIMC, Dongfeng, CXIC, and Singamas. Companies that together control roughly 95% of the world's standard dry shipping containers. The charge, a coordinated pandemic-era cartel that prosecutors allege ran from November of 2019 till at least January of 24. They cut shifts. They capped production. They installed 87 video cameras on 49 production lines so cartel members could spy on each other and prevent cheating. They refused to build new factories, and they sat back while container prices roughly doubled and the world's supply chains buckled. The numbers, CIMC's container profit went from $20 million in 2019 to $1.75 billion in 2021, an 87x explosion in 2 years. Singama swung from $110 million loss to $190 million profit over the same window. American consumers paid the difference at every checkout counter, every Amazon order, every backed up report. The optics, one executive, Vic Ma, 54, marketing director of Singamas, was already in custody. French authorities grabbed him at Charles de Gaulle Airport April 4th, 2026, as he tried to fly back to Hong Kong. DOJ's codename for the takedown, Operation Midnight in Paris. Remember I said something earlier I was asking you guys about?
Yep.
Midnight, right? So I think we're getting our message here. And just so everybody understands why I said that, that account Entheos had posted today a repost of their post from January of 2025. It said 2 noons or 2 midnights in one day or something like that. So very interesting. All right. Operation Midnight in Paris. 6 other executives remain at large. The Justice Department is pursuing extradition. Now read the timing again. The grand jury returned this indictment in October of 25. DOJ held it under seal for 7 months. They didn't unseal it until after the arrest in April. They didn't unseal it before Trump went to Beijing. They unsealed it 4 days after Air Force One left Chinese airspace. The same week, Putin scrambled to Beijing for damage control photo ops. The same week, Takashi was being welcomed into Li Jaimyung's hometown with a hug. The same week, La Ching-te declared Taiwan would not be sacrificed. The same week, Marcos told Japanese media the Philippines had no choice on Taiwan. This was not a coincidence. This was a release valve opened on schedule. The diplomatic track and the enforcement track are not the same track. Trump can call Xi a friend on Friday and have his Justice Department perk walk Chinese state-linked executives on Tuesday, because these are 2 arms of the same machine, running on a different clocks, aimed at the same target. Beijing's strategy under Xi has long been the stall game. Drag out negotiations, soften American resolve through summit choreography, wait for the next election cycle, use, quote, friendship rhetoric to peel allies away. That strategy has run on the assumption that Washington's left hand and right hand don't coordinate. This week broke that assumption. The cartel indictment is one signal. The Indo-Pacific encirclement is another. The unsealing of 7 Chinese executives' names 4 days after the most photographed handshake of the year tells you everything about which one is the front door and which one is the back door. The handshakes are theater. The machinery never stopped grinding. And Xi,
I think that's good.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Unless you want to keep going, I think that pretty much lays it out right where we're at. But the indictment on there just came out interesting. You know, the FBI was giving updates on it too. So this is interesting. This is a really huge buzz about the amount of money that just came out through this. So yeah, interesting.
And global container shipments as well. Interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Are there rockets in there? I'm not sure. What was this?
Ammonia plant?
Ammonia plant. Secretary Brooke Rollins just gave China the middle finger and announced 3 quick historic actions. Fast track the giant Blue Point ammonia plant in Louisiana, $3.7 billion. Fix the slow moving fertilizer expansion program. From previous administrations, only 8 out of 121 projects finished. The push towards new ones, like a big hydrogen ammonia facility in Washington State and an organic fertilizer plant in Iowa. Add 3 dedicated economists to track fertilizer prices and supply for better transparency. So yeah, they're trying to basically, because we're going to have a big problem with fertilizer coming up, because I think it's less than half actually have for farming abilities inside the United States. So that's really low. So I'm not sure exactly where they're going to get it. And we got the whole El Nino thing coming, and that normally wreaks havoc over farmlands coming up here in December, or coming up at the end of the year. So it's going to get interesting.
Heck yeah, I guess they need it too. They need all that fertilizer. Big shortage. And again, we need to make sure we're getting stuff or making stuff here in our country so we're not dependent on other countries, especially for things to, make food and medicine.
Oh, yeah. Dirty Carpenter makes a good point out here. Said they never did find those train cars that were full of it, right? Those are still a bit missing, the big giant containers of ammonium nitrate. Yeah. Yeah, I remember exactly what you're talking about. The other thing that... Go ahead.
Just say whoops.
Whoops. Lee Zeldin, the EPA, is basically phasing out a bunch of the Green New Deal crap that they put into law. So they're reversing a lot of that. including the CFCs. That's going to be banned out. They're not going to go to the new gas for the air conditioners, which means that you can't just replace the gas. You got to replace the actual equipment itself. So a lot of people in small businesses, from air conditioning to the actual coolers they use in refrigerators, would need to change to a new fluid to do all their EPA crap. So they just stopped a lot of that stuff. So that stuff is not going through, and it's saving a bunch of money for regular businesses because it's just crazy some of the stuff they're getting through. So they're doing that. And what was the other one? Depth. They're getting rid of the depth requirements on the farm equipment and also the right to repair. So the John Deere issues of locking down their repairs without having their special computer to fix things are now going to be changed going forward itself. They have a date and they say from this date after we're going to go and blah, blah, blah. So it's going to take a while for some of this stuff to come through, but military depth requirements, farm equipment depth requirements are basically null and void going forward for those particular vehicles for everything they're making new. So yeah, it's rocking.
Heck yeah, and good comment from, and good and funny. I like the good funny ones. Cisco says, Dems are full of shit. Use them for fertilizer.
Oh, yeah, exactly. What else do we got? Oh, yeah, this came out. Yeah, from Muse, data centers aren't increasing your utility rates. Democrats are. Puget Sound Energy is proposing a major utility hike, 30% on electricity and 20% on natural gas over the next 3 years. The biggest driver, compliance cost tied to what? Oh, climate commitments. Oh, yeah. So it has nothing to do with the data centers or anything like that or the cost of fuel. We're just doing it for climate changes where they're coming through. So, yeah. Awesome. Your powers are going up. Maybe not totally.
I feel like it's going to be a hot summer here, dude. You were talking about El Nino or something like that a couple of weeks ago, right? Dude, it was 90 degrees a couple of days ago, which is, yeah, I know it's May, but it's pretty damn early for Rhode Island.
Yeah, we're going to get to that. I got that coming out there. So President Trump's ratepayer protection pledge is the first America's first. He's calling for the nation's leading AI companies to build, bring, or buy 100% of their energy needs for data centers and no more sticking it to the actual end user themselves. He said when he rolled out all these AIs that we're going to have 1,600 new power plants by the end of my term. I haven't seen any of those come out there yet. I know that they're officially testing on location one of those small nuclear reactor types that they've been talking about that just went online. It's producing power as we sit right now. So I'll have more of that information going up on Saturday when you get that together. But I know he said it, but a lot of them have been just dumping right onto the capacity that's kind of left over, and there's not much left, and it's finally going to get broken is when it comes to. So, yeah.
Electricity,
we'll see.
The water, do it yourselves. Don't take from local people water that they need. Go get your own, make your own, whatever the hell you got to do. But stop passing that crap along to us. And Hulk, we had on my side like 2 thumbs down for a while, and all of a sudden we got 6. So I got a little tiff there, and I said 4 jerk-offs just came in here to give us a thumbs down. GF yourselves. That's from Tropic Thunder. Go fuck yourselves.
Just keep smashing the thumbs up, please, and leave a comment in the video, please. Couple of comments here coming from Trump over here about he's speaking about that when the Democrats win, they want to pack the Supreme Court. We're going to get 21 judges and the Teamster determining the filibuster, just basically take over, which we've kind of shown a history so far of the Democratic Party with the reactions that happened in Virginia and some of the other places where they just want to change the rules because they're losing, like California that wants to go from the 2 leading majority runoff winners. So if they're Republican, Democrat, doesn't matter. The 2 leaders go on and they feel like they're going to lose that. So they want to do it to Republican and 1 Democrat now after 12 years. So it's the stuff that they're doing. So this is coming back out again and Trump's starting to push it. Ran by this comment in Congress to kind of put it over here because Jim Jordan's kind of talking to the commissions, like the people that are really trying to push this ideology.
The chair recognizes the chairman of the full committee. One quick question. I'm just curious what the panel thinks. Why don't we just add 4 justices now? 13 circuits, we need go to 9 to 13 as the ranking member. The full committee suggested at the start of the hearing. Why wouldn't we just add him now if we're going to add him? What do you think of that? We'll just maybe go down the line.
The first rule of justice is what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I oppose doing that now, just as I would oppose doing it under a different president.
No, that's where I'm at. Totally agree. But it seems to me if we're going to do it, and 13 is some important number that we got to get to based on the number of circuits, then we should, if we're going to do 4, do it now. Mr. Bowie, would you support doing that, doing 4? You said if Congress thinks it's the right thing to do, we should go for it. So if it's the right thing to do, can we go for it now?
Well, I agree with the principle. It's in your prerogative. You have the prerogative to determine how the Supreme Court works. The court did not descend from on high in its current form in the palace across the street. It's your job to determine what kind of court.
And you would have no problem with us doing it now?
Look, I disagree with many of the policies that come out of Congress right now, but I really have faith in your ability to live up to your office. And I think that you have the authority to determine what kind of justice we want to see in this country.
That's great. I think I know what Professor Ross and Mr. Scherer's answer is as well, which is where I'm at. But
yeah, I would oppose any expansion of the court.
Yeah, I'm there too.
Okay. Democrat guys don't want to expand the court right now. Gee, I wonder why they wouldn't want to expand the Supreme Court right now, because Trump would pick more conservatives? Gee, that wouldn't work. No, we're going to wait for the change of venue from a different president and then pick them.
If you don't like a politician's answer, just wait 4 years.
Yeah, pretty much. So again, that just kind of gives credence to a little bit more of what we're seeing of the direction they want to take it, because the radicals are still hanging out. Because Trump would be gone in 2.5 years. Oh yeah, this was the Charles Littleton, the IRS guy that took the information, not from Trump, a whole bunch of other people at the same time. And this was part of that lawsuit that ended that they're going to do the weaponization fund for $1.7 billion. So yeah, it wasn't just Trump stuff. He got a lot of other people in the Trump administration all at the same time. They just charged only one person, but everybody was using the information. So just find it interesting.
They weaponized them, even the Lois Lerner thing back in the day with Obama. So yeah, they had their little tricks and toys, but their tricks and toys are being removed.
Yeah, like this one here. Did you here, let's play the clip.
Our future fraud. A Minnesota judge has just sentenced the mastermind behind the Feeding Our Future fraud scheme, Amy Bach. She just got more than 41 years in prison. The prosecution is asking for a 50-year sentence and her defense about 3 years. So that's somewhere in the middle that they got that, but closer to what obviously the prosecution wanted. The scheme involved the theft of nearly $250 million in COVID funding. That money was meant to feed hungry children. State leaders claim they were unaware of the fraud. Here's what Amy Bach told our Alexis McAdams from jail back in January.
I honestly believe Keith Ellison and Governor Walz need to be held accountable.
Our future.
41 years in prison for the ringleader of the $250 million deal. And Governor Walz and Keith Ellison, those two group out there, Mr. Card-carrying Antifa member himself, are not indicted yet.
I'm loving it. That's huge. 41 years? More to come, ladies and gentlemen. More to come. And they were saying, too, people were saying that she knew about it. Ilhan Omar was absolutely aware this was going on.
So they got criminal charges against 15 other defendants at the same time, this lady here.
Today, we are announcing criminal charges against 15 defendants in Minnesota for fraud schemes that targeted over $90 million in taxpayer dollars. Let me be clear up front about something. This is not the end of our work in Minnesota. This is not the end.
Yeah. Enough of your stump speech. We got RFK there. We've got Mr. Oz hanging out over here and a whole bunch of DOJ and FBI guys from the local offices over there. So, big raids coming in there. And what was this? This is the same thing. Oh, yeah. So, just to put this out, when they went and did all these raids and all that.
Before I begin my crux of my remarks, I need your help. On the screen,
You will see a subject depicted on the screen here of an individual who was a target of the investigation this morning. That individual is currently on the run after having jumped out of a fourth story balcony. I want you to get a good look at him right now. You'll see him. You'll see him running here. He is currently on the run. We need your help. If you recognize this individual,
So yeah, one of the guys they went out to go get, he jumped out of the 4-story building and then hobbled away. Yeah, from Feed the Future, the Minnesota group out there. So yeah, justice is happening out there. They did catch this guy. He was only missing for a couple hours. He didn't make it all that far with the injured leg jumping out of a 4-story building.
He tends to be a little ouchy when you try to walk after you jump that high off of something. Eesh.
Yeah. So yeah, that guy's an effing liar right there. This guy, he was arrested and put in there for being connected into this. So he was one of the group that was arrested there. So everybody can give it a big giant.
They stole our books. They stole our log books, and all the people that sign up and the kids that go here. They took all that information. So the information that you're going to be asking us for, just had a break-in yesterday morning. They took and they took some checks too.
Oh yeah, even this lady here, just as an example, allegations. She took $850,000 in federal nutrition funds, only a fraction spent on food, claimed to serve 60,000 children monthly, filed for receipts feeding 1,000 kids 2 meals a day for 7 weeks, claimed 13,000 claims of $4.6 million through Minnesota's Feed the Children program. That's just one of these people out there out of the whole $250 million that they're going after right now. So, yeah, they arrested a bunch of people.
Heck yeah. And,
I think they're coming to California soon.
Yeah, she went to London, it looks like, though.
What do you mean?
It says that she booked a flight to London the same day. So apparently they got her, though.
Oh, yeah. The Midnight in Paris thing? Yeah. Yeah, turn the plane around. What else do we got here? Oh, yeah, Nick Shirley's comment.
She can't be the face of this program. There's 90 other people that could be focused on, perhaps even including Ilhan Omar.
Yeah, 100%. And for Ilhan to say she doesn't know about this fraud is like the biggest lie we've heard in American history. She knew about the fraud. And today they actually just criminally charged one of the ladies for the Feeding Our whose daycare was used for the Feeding Our Future fraud. And I exposed her daycare in my...
So you got a hat tip for that. But Ilhan Omar is really quiet here at this point of her dwindling her fortune down from, what was it, 70 million down to like 90,000 or 100,000. Nobody's keeping score over there, and they dissolved their winery in Minnesota, which I don't think they have grapes in Minnesota, but because it's cold. But anyways, just interesting things that she is. And the last time we heard out of Ilhan Omar is she was supposed to turn over paperwork to the Ethics Commission in Congress, and she failed to show up, and the dog ate her homework.
Dog ate it. Sorry, I don't got that information that you needed here. But yeah, it's so pervasive. This fraud is, and obviously we're seeing it being exposed, right? Because if it wasn't being exposed, we wouldn't be talking about it right now. But we're talking about it a lot on every show for like the last couple of months. Like every show, we got a bunch of fraud that we're showing. So yes, it's actually happening. House Oversight is calling for a closer look into disclosures from Ilhan Omar as the Democratic Congresswoman faces an ethics committee probe over reports that her disclosed net worth dropped from millions to as low as $18,000 to $95,000. That happens when you miss a winery, right? Although, right? Yeah, it never happened, never existed.
That keyword is denaturalize, boys and girls. Everybody say it together. Denaturalize. We'll see if we get there. What else do we got? Oh, yeah, a little bit of J.D. Vance because he's the head of the fraud department for Trump administration.
You read the things about Ilhan Omar and about, who she married and whether she didn't marry this person or that person. It certainly seems like something fishy is there, but everybody's entitled to equal justice under the laws. So we're going to investigate it. We're going to take a look at it. If we think that there's a crime, we're going to prosecute that crime. You read
Yep. Just JD Vance is aware of it with all the new allegations that came out this weekend or this week. That's all this week, guys. So new stuff happening pretty quickly. Oh yeah. And again, the Senate Republicans now miss President Trump's June 1st deadline to pass the ICE and CBP platform, so they're not getting funding out of Thune whatsoever. And his idea was to send everybody home today and have a nice vacation, guys, because you don't need to come back for a month.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We'll see what happens in the meantime, too. You know, if this was, we'll see if there's anything good that kicks off or cooks off while these guys are gone.
Can you read this tweet from Senator Thune, please?
Sure. Donald Trump should be withdrawn and Mike Pence should be our nominee effective immediately. But what was
Remember
that?
that?
That was 10-16. Was that the Billy Bush thing?
Yeah, I think that's when they're cracking around out there. Yes.
The bimbos. And again, that was a private conversation, which, you know, I've heard even women, that Katie woman from England, she's like, I've heard women say worse things than that in a women's locker room or a women's shower. So, yeah, that's private conversations that he surreptitiously recorded and then put online like a jerk-off, Billy Bush and his crew there.
So it ran by a guy who put together a list of foreign countries that put in the most money into the United States. Who are the top 10 donators into the United States, guys? Start thinking about your list and how much money they got with GDP and all that, because we're talking a crap load of money. Is everybody ready?
Well, let's
You
take
ready?
hold on. Let's take the obvious aside, right? And who's not the obvious? Like, obviously, you got Israel for sure. I'm going to tell you, Qatar is going to be way up there. Saudi Arabia is going to be way up there. Israel, Qatar, Saudi Arabia. I'm trying to think who else would give us a. Yeah, that's
I was
my top
surprised. I was surprised. Yeah, here we go. Two.
in here. Foreign countries lobbying in America? What?
Yeah.
Wait. Where's Israel? It's Majoosh.
They're number 10.
No, but it's Israel. It's always Israel. Come on, dude.
Like
That's
China?
all I hear about.
Like China, number 1, then Japan. This is from 16 to 24. Liberia. What the hell is going on in Liberia? And again, I didn't fact check any of this stuff out there. I'm just going off with the list he's putting it together. South Korea, the Marshall Islands, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Bahamas, UAE, and then Israel at the bottom.
The Marshall friggin' Islands? Like what?
Yeah, is it a slush fund? I'm not getting it. So this is coming up from our favorite narrative breaker, Butthead. But anyways,
Who the hell is
just wanted to put that huh?
Who the hell is E.L. What's that name? Let me see that again up top. E.L. Jacoby. That sounds very. Let's see. What would you think his nationality would be?
Don't know.
That seems very Jewish to me. But yeah, and then so he wrote that list. Yeah, let's see. Jewish Federation of Tulsa, For the Love of Zion, E.L. Jacoby. So yeah, he wrote the list and he put Israel down at 10. I call bullshit on that one.
But just interesting to see which ones are at the top 5. I'm just not sure where he's getting his info from, but yeah. Here, we'll throw this out for a little bit about oil.
Of the Strait of Hormuz. In effect, for nearly 2 hours now, a ship tracking firm reports 121 empty oil tankers are making their way to the United States of America. 68 of those 121 vessels are very large crude carriers capable of carrying 2 million barrels apiece. President Trump has urged countries squeezed by Iran's disruption of the Strait of Hormuz to turn to American energy supplies instead. Well, it would appear perhaps they are obliging him. They are listening to Trump. The president told Fox, quote, China can send their ships to the U.S., China can send their ships to Venezuela, while also saying that empty oil-carrying ships from many nations are all headed to the U.S. to load up. That from the president of the United States.
So that sounds like good news, except when you go look at the total U.S. crude inventories, including Strategic Petroleum Reserve, fell by 17 million barrels last week, from the drawdown. So basically they're saying at this rate, they're sitting this thing right now is probably going to last just a little bit over 100 days. If nothing changes the way it goes right now, and then this strategic supply would basically run out. And they would be at a cutoff deal that they would need to cut it out. So it's slowly going down. So they're using this to feed into the rest of the world to keep gas fuel prices around the world at least stabilized at a point. So yeah, our strategic supply is leaving the country, just like they did under Biden.
Heck yeah, he keeps filling it up, and we keep giving it away. Trump filled it up, Biden gave it away. We filled it back up. Now Trump's giving it away. Apparently, too, I saw last week, I think, they were showing a video on Carg Island. Is that any update on that one? Because I know they said there was already oil spilling out because they were either going to have to stop production on these things or oil's going to keep spouting out.
Yeah, it's seeping out, and I've seen reports of it showing up on Kuwait's beaches and stuff. So yeah, if you don't have a place to put it, just pour it in the ocean. That's their plan. I haven't heard anything more about it for about a week. But here,
Yeah.
what do you think? What do you think out there?
Updated the most legendary chart on Twitter.
Yep. What do you guys see there?
More expensive. Hospital services, 81% up. College tuition, 196 up. So this is from January of 2000 to December of 2025. So looks like the Biden term, hospital services were up 281%. College tuition up 196%. College textbooks were up 176%. Child care and nursery school, 158%. Medical care services, 147. Average hourly wages, 131% went up. Ooh. Housing, 111%. Food and beverages, 105%. Then what do we got here? New cars, clothing. New cars, 25.8%. Household furnishings, 21%. Clothing, 1%. Cell phone service, negative. Ooh.
The thing that I noticed here is the difference between this group here and this group here is the group at the bottom doesn't have a lot of government fingers inside of it. Now, if we go up here to the top, how much is your government involved in hospitals, college tuitions, the textbooks, child care, medical care, hourly rate wage, food and beverages? You got to give them $25 or $20 an hour. I mean, seriously, the Democrats create their own, the government creates their own inflation. It's just crazy. Just something I was looking at, how much government is involved in that top bracket, making everything more expensive. Yay.
It was bad, dude. I mean, remember, a lot of us, whether you had to work, you stayed home or whatever, but then you got that bump from the federal government. I almost feel like they foresaw this stuff coming, right? And maybe gave us a little bit extra. And, I was able to squirrel a little bit of money aside during that period before Biden came in because of, well, wait, no, was it? No, it was during the very beginning of it, during the beginning of the COVID, because they were giving that extra. But yeah, that went away pretty damn quick because of what you're seeing on the screen right there.
Exactly. Here's another one I wanted to show you here. You right there. Look at that. Latest data shows record-breaking El Nino is rapidly intensifying. They're really not going to know until probably midway through summer or whatever. If this big giant pool of water that's right next to this wet over here basically shows up and starts feeding into the system itself, which what it does to the rest of the world is create a lot of deserts and lack of water in a lot of different places itself. But it hits the Southwest pretty heavily with a bunch of water that's going through the entire system itself. So right now, we're kind of in a drought right now. We didn't get any of the snowpack we were supposed to. Here's what it looks like of what the snowpack actually dropped onto California or normal areas itself. That's showing you the percentage of actually how much snowpack is actually there and how much isn't there. Normally, this entire area would be damn near 80 or 90 all the way up to the top, but you could see down here, a lot of the snowpack is 8%. So I'm not sure where California, a lot of these southern states are going to get water out of the Colorado, especially with the whole data center stuff coming up pretty quickly itself. the whole western side of the United States did not get very much rain. And we got this El Nino thing, so we're going to get a whole bunch of dry, deserty weather and fires and Pacific Palisades, all that stuff happening again, maybe over here in California, while the Midwest gets a total drought, which I find interesting right here. Read this comment right here at the top right here.
Insane stat of the day. California almonds use roughly, 3 to 5.5 million acre feet of water per year, depending on methodology. That's 4 to 7 times more water than all data centers in North America use combined in 2025. Dude, do we really need almonds that much?
Remember that group that bought the water rights in California is holding on to them? I can't remember their name. But they finagled it back in the 90s so they can do almonds.
They did a movie on it. Dennis Quaid was, I think he was the almond farmer, and they basically talked about, I think it was a true story where they gave the guy who was the almond farmer like the control essentially of one of the water sources, and he essentially shut off like the local people, and they went to court over it, and I didn't really get to see the whole thing, but it was talking about how much money the guy made and how much water they have to use, and that's a lot of water, dude, just for some almonds. That's crazy.
Just a weird stat to put it all in perspective.
Yes.
Know where to put this. You want to talk about it?
I know exactly where to put that. And I had reposted something earlier on it, and it's
I'm in potpourri mode.
Yeah. No, it's basically what we've been told. You know what we've been shown, right, over the last many years. So, I actually reposted I think it was Bricks News had posted up, Russia considers launching joint projects with the United States and China. And I said, oh, wow, really? What a coinky-dink. And I put a quotations. You can tell me who wrote these quotes, Hulk. What if China, Russia, and others are coordinating with POTUS to eliminate the New World Order? That's one quote. Another quote, common denominator, China, Russia, and Iran, closed financial systems, logical thinking. So is he working already with these guys? I think that the answer is yes. I think, behind the scenes they're doing something, and even these fights, the fake fights, my friend, God friend, good friend, bad friend, whatever. But even remember Rdoc was telling us how they do business over in China. Like, unless you bring your absolute A game, like they don't give you any respect or show you any respect. And that's how they talk about each other over there. Oh, my friend over there. But unless you're bringing your A game, like President Trump supposedly did there, especially with all those indictments, they look at you as weak.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what type of joint projects they're speaking about together as a group. We're still messing around with Ukraine, right? Ukraine, we're still feeding weapons over to that whole shedaggle. So, it's a total boondoggle. So I don't know where to put that. We're messing around with Iran, and we got a lot of things cooking all at the same time. Mixing it fast is what it seems like. So we're trying to quiet it up as we come up to the midterm elections, as we all notice. Not a whole lot of deportations and those sort of things. We're seeing more on the ground things, trying to get to a better America, the arrests that we're looking for, the frauds being exposed. So there's a lot of positive things happening on both fronts, but we just got to wait and be patient.
Hurry up and wait. Hurry up and wait.
What else do we got over here? This is potpourri stuff. This was the Southern Poverty Law Center. What were they saying over here? Oh yeah, the whole deal about that. So basically, there was a investigation opened up into the Southern Poverty Law Center through the Biden administration, and they were going to charge them for doing those influence moves that Trump finally charged them for under Trump's administration. So what they decided to do, they brought out the investigation and they showed them, and they're like, you know what? We're not going to charge you. We're going to take you on our team because you're freaking really good at it. And we're going to go after all the Republicans. Can you start with the Christians first? Going to the school and fighting against those the transgender bathrooms and all that. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. That's so crazy that they did that.
So nasty. And I mean, remember, our country was so racist and so, so dastardly that these people needed to pay, like literally go out of their way to meet up with the KKK and pay these people off to do their racist stuff, right? Like, That's how bad these people were, and I cannot wait to see these people, Media Matters, and the rest of them go down the wayside.
Yeah, so yeah, they're still going through investigations on that. What else do we have over here?
You can barely see over the.
Oh, that was the
microphone.
midnight. That was the Midnight in Paris deal. Which division was that? The antitrust division for those guys. The House overwhelmingly passes the Trump-backed bill to restrict companies like BlackRock from buying up single-family homes. So still got to go through the Senate and all those things. So they're off for a month, but I thought that was interesting that Congress agreed on that. What else do we have here at the very end? Oh, the other thing that they had done against the banking system to set restrictions out there, and no, we're not going to play that right now. Does it have me a Gork little breakdown on this? They're making it a lot harder for illegal immigrants to get banking inside the United States, so they're restricting access to that, loans, credit cards, money transferring locations themselves. See if it gives us a breakdown. Verify identities, a potential deportation to ability to repay assessments for credit. So when they're getting those big giant, oh, you owe $3 million for staying here for 20 years. If they have some sort of fraud money in there, they're going to take a lot of that stuff underneath the Bank Secrecy Acts for that. And of course, they're also doing for direct access. So it's going to be a lot harder. And I'm not sure if these banks need to kick out illegal immigrants off the banking system now if they're already on it, because that would be pretty bad. Some of these people got car loans. Because I had a coworker of mine that didn't have a California driver's license. He had his green card, but he was able to buy a car with a car loan and get insurance in California. So just to throw that out there. What else do we got? So just a quick comment from Jeff Bezos out here.
Weird.
Good example. The New York City school system. Right. They spend $44,000 per student. $44,000. That's 30% more per student than other big cities like Chicago, LA, and Boston. And it's 3 times more than Miami and Houston. And by the way, New York City doesn't get better outcomes. So what this? Listen, let me just say, if we ran Amazon the way New York City runs their school system, your packages would take 6 weeks to arrive. We'd have to charge you a $100 delivery fee, and then when the package did finally arrive, it'd have the wrong item in it anyway. Good example.
True.
Pretty much. That's the way the Democrats in New York are running. Hochul might have an issue with her staying over there. We'll see what happens if she can hold on. I think she's in there for a little bit longer. What else do we got over here? We save this for Saturday or play the last couple of pieces here? We go for it.
You're driving, whatever you'd like to do, sir.
Yeah, I only got a couple more pages anyways. A little bit about UFO stuff coming back out again. He said something interesting.
There are things that are flying at speeds that we can't achieve and at angles that we can't turn, and the amount of times flying on the surface and then going underwater and then coming out. We've just got too much testimony and too much out there. So, and I think there's going to be some misinformation they're going to put out too in this next group of files, intentionally to screw us up. So, which you'll obviously be able to see some of this stuff. Obviously, that it is a balloon or some of this other stuff. I've seen some of these videos. I'm wondering why the heck they're even putting them out. But I think the cover-up continues, and I do believe the president and the White House, the good guys, so to speak, are having a hard time with a lot of our alphabet agencies and the deep state. It's classic deep state versus America. There are things.
Yeah. And, that goes along the lines of the whole DNI thing from last week where they took 40 boxes with MK Ultra and JFK assassination files inside of it. So, yeah.
Yep. And of course they're going to. And just remember, guys, why are they doing all this stuff now? Going back 15 years at least, I had heard that, and that's why I've been repeating it, that, once their whole gig is up, their default is going to be like a Project Bluebeam, second coming of your god of choice, or a fake alien invasion. So don't fall for it.
Well, I think that's why Trump doing this disclosure thing, I think he's beating him to the punch, to be honest with you, and trying to get this stuff out the door so they don't play the fake alien invasion or whatever godly thing they want to talk about, and not use all their deep state tricks to fool America into a particular narrative itself. I think Trump doing this now is getting them to react, and now they don't want any of it to come out because they don't want to know the truth. They want their truth out. And I'll be thinking about that one. What else?
Just think about this, Hulk, too, right? And this is something I think everybody needs to also consider, right? If let's just say, all right, aliens are real, UFOs are real, they exist, blah blah blah. They've been visiting us for hundreds of years. Okay. Say a couple of weeks from now, oh my God, they're invading us. Like, wait, they waited till now to invade us when they could have just wiped us out at any time, theoretically, right? So, like, I don't buy the whole shtick, and clearly there's a big push for this lately. We have Luna and then Burchett out there, basically every day coming out with something. So they're definitely pushing whatever they're going to try to do, and it's kind of getting faster and faster here lately.
Yeah, I'm going to throw this one clip out there because I was going to save it for Saturday. But it goes in lines with social media, YouTube, and all those guys are changing here. But did you hear that Mondavi decided to go to live stream on Twitch for the very first time to meet the constituents right online?
No, I
did you hear about this?
This must have been juicy.
How well do you think it went?
I think he probably got annihilated.
Yeah, it's pretty bad when you go live streaming on Twitch for the first time and don't use any mods.
Oh, no. Bombas images of male anatomy as mayor gets hard lesson on internet trolling. Hey, we've been a recipient of that on this channel as well. Yep, that's happened. But over and over and like they make one of those things with the words, like, or it makes a shape out of the words. Do you like what you see? Do you like what you see? Oh,
it's a phallic symbol right here. You can see it.
It's cool.
It's not a good idea to go on there and at least use the word restriction, because somebody over chat, I can't remember earlier in the show, had mentioned that we could say a particular word. I have used the internet bad word list and put it on all my live streams. So it's not Rumble that's restricting some of the words. It's me putting those restrictive words in there that you can't use. Pretty much you can get away with a lot, but not when you get very vulgar and some crazy stuff. It's like 1,000 words long. And some of them, half of them, I've never even heard before. I'm like, what? Because they use different letters and symbols and weird shit like that.
Oh God, yeah. And remember, they used to come into Rumble with like, with crazy names like Marjorie Taylor Greene's Stinky something or other, right? And Donald Trump's, Saggy something or other. So they were pretty. they weren't very creative on this side, so they were pretty easy to spot in certain respects. But yeah, we get the hit and runs.
Yeah, we got some really good names in our chat too that like to donate every so often there. So we appreciate you guys out there.
Danggammit, Bastiat 1776 says, "Dang Gabbit, Tim Burchett is a great rep." Yep, dang nabbit.
Exactly. Anything else we should talk about, throw out there? Yes, we do know about NASCAR's Kyle Busch. He died suddenly at the age of 41. He was racing last weekend. He won the Cup 200 truck racing, and then he placed 8th that weekend also in another race. It was a doubleheader for him. He was complaining to team doctors that he had a nasal infection or nasal pressure of some sort like that, and then fell ill shortly thereafter. So my guess is we have some sort of brain infection coming from the nasal cavity that maybe ruptured and then caused an infection and then took him there. Because, they dropped him off, like, I think it was this morning, saying he got dropped off and feeling sick, and he was announced dead a couple hours later. Head tip to Kyle Busch at 41.
Damn, huh? It says Thursday, he was hospitalized due to an undisclosed but severe illness and already dead on the same day. Yeah, I would say that's a hell of a severe illness.
Yeah, so something to do with high-speed turns, gravity, ruptured, probably something with with an infection, and then maybe that infection got into the brainstem. And once you're up in that area, that's a sensitive area, guys. You get some sort of infection that ruptures. I mean, if you have a bad tooth that ruptures or whatever, it could kill you too.
Damn, huh? Yeah, maybe with all those G-forces and whatnot. Wow.
Yeah, so Team Doctor, they did make an announcement that they had heard something like that, and some of the people were making mentions to that. So that's my guess about the whole situation, because he did cancel a couple of days before the race that he was doing this weekend, Saturday or Sunday, some 600 lap race or whatever it was. So, yeah.
Pretty bananas. Hey, appreciate you, brother, over there. And he can probably show you a few things on Arc Raiders as well. D-Star Boy, appreciate the 5 subscriptions to the channel, brother. Getting to the weekend here, getting to maybe some, not Call of Duty. What's the other one? Battlefield. Maybe some Battlefield tomorrow. But yeah, dude, that's crazy, huh? How Kyle Busch, though, hospitalized and then dead in the same day. Severe illness. That is just bananas. Bananas.
Exactly. Should we do some thank yous, go through that list again?
Yeah, go ahead. Do. Oh, and actually, yeah, I gotta thank somebody who became a monthly supporter, and then had basically. I always do that because I'm like some people will do that on accident and basically only mean to do a donation, but then actually they had messaged me on Truth Social to make sure that it was. And they said, oh, it was a monthly thing, so. I'm not gonna say the name here. I will just say the I will say the screen name over here on Recon 778. Says excuse me, became a monthly supporter. Says from day one troopers, 3-time Iraq combat veteran. This 4th of July will be glorious. Thank you all for being our voices in freedom. God bless my heroes. Were all carried off the battlefield. Never, ever forget. I salute you and the battle team Space Shot. Appreciate that very much there, Recon. And yes, those are the people, the real heroes, the ones that gave their life for our country. So much respect to you and them, of course. But thank you for that. And thank you again there, D-Star Boy, for the 5 subs to the channel, my man.
Yeah, also want to say thank you. Go ahead. Sorry.
But I was going to say, yes, now you can thank your folks.
Philly Q did the 1 gifted subscription over there at the Hulkinator channel. Also, Family Man 66 Sling gifted the 5 subscriptions twice. We greatly appreciate you guys donating out there. Over on the Pilled side, we're going to go say hello and then give the list out, or the hell do they call them? The scratch offs. I had a brain fart there. Thrice gifted cookies. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. There was some reason it could be matrix, rock, and stone and material are actually conductive or somewhat of a conductive for energy. Yeah, we're talking about pyramids and stuff. Woke and Walk gifted the can. Happy Table Titans Thursday. God bless Space Shot, MIA Rdoc, and MIA Tron, who is out camping right now, who's not going to wake up with a sore bum in the morning itself. That's not the joke itself. Woke and Walk gifted the cookie. Tina be free soon. Yes, that's on the 1st. Woke and Walk gifted the cookie and another cookie and donated 177 gold pills out there. Hugh shook me all night long, gifted the can. One Thunder with a can. Sean Joe with a cookie. Sean Joe with another cookie. Pete Quest with a cookie. Woke and Walked gifted the can. And Tanette Booth gifted the shades. You guys rock. It is much appreciated there. I have gone through my list out there. We thank you, everybody, breaking out the wall and getting involved out there. Keeps the lights on and the internet running.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And yeah, great show, dude. Yeah, we got 2 guys down. One's he's camping. I don't know. Yeah, I think he said I don't want to mix up his schedule, but I think he said tomorrow if there's going to be no show, or he's going to do the morning show at nighttime, or if that was Sunday or Friday, Saturday. I don't know. Just look out for him posting. I don't want to ruin anything.
Yeah, exactly. Other than that, we appreciate you guys coming and hang out. Make sure you smash the thumbs up button. Leave comments in the bottom of the video itself. If you're on the repeat side, just leave a comment in the bottom of the of the chat, that would be great in the comment section. Make sure you get it over to the Twitter, and we can do the retweet and the heart if you want to. And then Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You either got coffee or lunch, I don't care. You're going to come out, hang out. We're going to have music, news, and funnies. I think I got it all, Mr. Space Shot.
Yes, sir, you did. I'm going to get back once I'm done with my move, which I'm going to get back to doing a show at either 1 or 12 on Fridays as well. So it'll be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 12 or 1 o'clock, most likely 1. But anyway, so I'm actually moving, or allegedly moving back tomorrow morning at 10:30. So phase 2, part 2, and then back to some normality after this. So that would be absolutely lovely. But yes, definitely tune into Hulkinator and myself on Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern, sir. And
how long will it take you to move your stuff? If it starts tomorrow, how long is it going to take you to be fully in the other place, ready to go?
Well, like I said before, it's not even 100 feet to where I got to go to cross a street, essentially. But they got the professional movers moving the couches, the beds, the furniture, all the big stuff. And so there's no rush at this point because we had to rush to get everything out so they could renovate. But now that we'll move stuff back, this is literally what I told my son yesterday. I said, once we get everything over there and all the furniture's back in, we can put the stuff away at our leisure. So there's going to be no rush to do that. But, I think I'll have most of it done by tomorrow evening, where actually I will be jumping in with News Treason on the call-in show tomorrow evening as well. So I'll be able to pop in there for a little bit. But yeah, I think, most of it I'll have all set tomorrow. Just got to put some stuff back into the closets and then back into the dressers and stuff like that. Hang some pictures, blah, 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 blah. But I don't intend on doing that tomorrow. I need to space it out for sure.
Well, hopefully nothing's broken or missing.
No, I kick some ass if there is. I got one bag, dude. He's got one bag that we put aside. Anybody out there likes Nerf? He's got one bag that's probably got about $500 worth of Nerf guns and projectiles in there, and then 2 of the guns themselves, besides those 500, are like $125 each. The ones that shoot like the round freaking yellow things. Boom, boom, boom.
I know what you're talking about. Got the sniper rifle version here at the house.
Yes, lots of fun, like the big kids.
Exactly. So with that being said, Space Shot always says,
we do, of course, appreciate each and every one of you. And don't forget to raid somebody if you need to, Hulk. We do, of course, appreciate each and every one of you wonderful world patriots for tuning in out there. And until that next video, thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Peace.
Much love. Be good humans.
Where's my song? Where's my song?
I just have to push a button.
I know. Where's my song? Where's my button? All right. Peace, guys.
Hello, guys. Something special is happening in here. That's right, it's brackets and jackets, bringing it back for brackets and jackets. Special Epstein Island edition. That's right, folks, Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein, the man with the island, which is suspiciously close to Haiti. That's right. You see this man, Jeffrey Epstein, is funding lots of people. He's funding lots of people on the street to make sure his shit doesn't get out. That's right. They want the record sealed. And they're paying a lot of people. Epstein's paying a lot of people. Oh, boy. For one, he's got a whole Mossad media matrix in America. And I would bet you anything that Alex Jones is one of them. Prove me wrong. That's right, Cappy's in the portal. Cappy's in the portal. Cappy's in the building with songs about Epstein. It's Breakfast Jacket's Epstein edition. Guys, I had some epiphanies today. I had some real big epiphanies about about some guys. A big network of guys and spies and lies and liars. All right, think about this for a minute, okay? The guy in Portland, the scientist that just got busted for producing CP, that guy is 1 degree of separation away from Epstein. Epstein, the investor that lives in West Palm Beach, Florida. I know a guy who lives in West Palm Beach, Florida as well. Investor as well. Also involved as well. And all is not well with these guys. The Florida boys, the Glow boys, the Scott Israels of the world. You see, Epstein is Hillary Clinton. And Epstein is Haiti. And Epstein is a big network of media assets. By the way, did you know that Steve Bannon is going to that guy for money? Also, Epstein is Epstein Oprah. Epstein is Chris Tucker. You remember him. Epstein is also Kevin Spacey. Epstein is also Prince Andrew. Epstein is also... Who else is Epstein? Who else is Epstein? Tell me. You guys know? Who else is Epstein? Is Epstein Big Pharma? Is Epstein Bryan Singer? Is Epstein Naomi Campbell? Yep, all of the above. All of the above. Who is Epstein? Epstein is the keystone of a whole motherfucking matrix. And once you pull it out, it all falls down. Dersh was there too. That's right, we're dropping red pills every day. Dropping red pills in the best kind of way. This is brackets and jackets for the denizens of islands.